Good evening, everybody. Welcome on in, Raiders. Welcome. How's it going, everybody? Hello. All right. Let's maybe pop into her, huh?
Fruity. I had to work it up.
I literally come back at booty? Question mark.
I said fruity.
Oh.
Booty also works.
Yeah, that too. So yeah. We just talking about trying to make my Persona 5 protagonist gay in my playthrough.
Persona chat.
Just a little flowery boy.
Can we get
a little soft boy?
Hold on, I'm gonna get a shout out for Coringa because he did raid us.
Hey.
Also, Twitch hates me. I was trying to host, and it's like I forgot they got rid of that in October.
Yeah.
They get rid of hosting?
Yeah, they
you
got
can't
rid of
host.
hosting. Yeah.
You can have like suggested channels,
Wild.
but you can't auto host anymore.
We'll
So,
have that.
so crime. Like we just commit a crime.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going
Persona.
to stop this
Yeah.
music.
Making rivers in the desert.
We're the crime doers.
Mm-hmm.
No, the most I know of Persona is the music. I'll be honest.
It's great.
For which one?
Anyway.
I'll give you my spoofy playlist and you can tell me.
All right.
Alright.
I just realized that I totally forgot to set up a command that links all of you fantastic
Oh.
people. But how about
yeah.
we start at least with some introductions? Not about your characters. This is about you, the player. You know, your socials, what you do. Give us a quick Reader's Digest, and we're gonna start with Buddy.
Oh God. Why me?
Yeah, that sums it up.
Everything's going wrong. I'm clicking the wrong. Oh God. Whoops. Whoops.
You got this.
Whoops.
We're
Don't-
rooting for
listen.
you.
I just told you that I'm an anxious person and you called my name.
Okay, dude, should we
I'm
start
sorry.
with somebody else first?
No, I'm good.
You shy one. Go.
Explain your entire existence in 10 seconds. Okay. No.
There's a gun to your head.
Hi. I'm Buddy, just as the name implies. I like being people's buddy. That's kind of my thing. It's what I do. It's what I'm about. It's what I'm here for. Actually, that's a lie. I'm here for D&D with these fine people. Speaking of fine people, next.
Alright.
Mio?
Hi. My name is Mio. You can find me on Twitter at Mio Possum. That is Mio, MIOPOSIM question mark. I don't know. Someone look it up and tell me if I spelled it right. But I post
That is
things
correct.
that are funny. Hey, nice. I did it. I post things that are funny sometimes, and I post drawings. I post boobs.
They're very
Good
good.
drawings.
Mio
Very
The
good
drawings.
is
Cock and
a-
ball on the TL.
Mio is a
that's what I'm there for.
fantastic artist, and Mio,
Yes.
in fact, did all of the character art for Inkstained, which
It's
took.
all amazing.
It is a
Give Mio
fantastic.
money.
It-
Just
I
go.
will take it.
yes, go give Mio
Yeah.
money.
Do that now. Give everyone here. Well, not me. I'm pretty good, but give everyone else your money.
Mostly me.
Mostly.
I'll take it.
Let's go to Delilah next.
Hello, I am Delilah. Or D. D short for D is or D. Cause yep, D short for Delilah. All right. Anyway, I can be found nowhere online. Please do not search for me. I do not exist. I am a forever DM. Until now, I finally get to play in a game, and that's gonna be a blast. And yeah, I really love D&D. It's literally all I ever think about. And I'm sorry ahead of time.
All right. Frank.
Hello, my name is Frank. Basically, if you're looking for me, you're gonna want to look for Fridays with Frank because I try to make every day feel like a Friday. I used to have a camera, and then I was sucked into my computer, so now I am a PNG. Although I'm trying to get my camera to work and get out of here, so maybe next time I'll have a camera that works. And yeah, I am really excited to play. I'm really excited here, and I hope everyone's having a great day.
And then lastly, Hex.
Hi, I'm Ghost, but I'm also Hex. Don't worry about it. I apparently don't have hair. I've got the Phasmo effect. That's not important. I don't know what I'm doing. I heard everyone else sound off, and now I'm just... Anyway, hi. I work in a museum that is also a library. That's not the point.
You belong in a museum.
I do, and I will stay there forever. I'm not dead.
Excellent.
Great.
Excellent.
Typically a good thing.
Those
Yeah,
who
good
those who
year.
are in my community would know the reference behind that. But yeah, sorry for springing that all on you. I guess I should have told you all during a OC that I was going to get you all to introduce yourself, and then I just basically let all the socially anxious people turn loose. All right.
None of our children.
I'm not even socially anxious. I just haven't slept in like 24 hours.
Hey.
Hex!
What was I supposed to do? Sleep through this again?
Or just sleep in general.
Yeah,
you know?
just sleep in general is also an option.
You could try
I
that
could.
sometime.
I tried. It didn't work. Here we are.
All right. Well, how about without further ado, let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
So I do have a little introduction to the world and the campaign that I wrote here. Normally, if you guys are familiar with, oh Lou, thank you so much for the gifted subs. Hello. But yes, normally if you guys are here for Emberly Murders, you know that I normally start a game with a recap of what happened last time. But this is episode 1, and the only thing that we have really before this is kind of everyone's session zeros to help get them into the world, but I'm gonna let the players divulge that as they so wish.
I died.
Oh my god, buddy!
Thank you.
How many did you gift?
That's a
Why
lot.
does it
10.
tell me a number? Jesus Christ, buddy, thank you. Holy
We
crap.
gotta start it off right.
Apparently. Alright. I'm going to... Can I mute that? Okay. I unfortunately turned it off, but that effectively muted it. Let's get this thing read and written.
Woo.
Devcast. The kingdom of opportunity and industry. The leaders in artifice and mechanical engineering. Ruled and guarded by its sovereign, Caddy here, Devcast has flourished in wealth, business, and trade. No matter your schooling or skill set, there is work for everyone. And those even unable to work can feel secure with the basic income payments made monthly to all of its citizens. Whether you were born here, raised here, or traveled from afar, the golden jewel of Balemast is known far and wide. However, today we start in a small town just outside the gates of Devcast. Though still under the rule and reign of the mountain city sovereign, Ainsborough is far more humble in its way of life. Set on the far side of the mountain, they keep and maintain a more humble mining operation and offer a simpler way of life for those too intimidated by the progress in Devcast proper. However, as Devcast continues to grow and expand, so do the mineral demands placed on all of the mining guilds. Ainsborough's mines have been worked harder and harder than ever before, and recently several mining groups have been attacked and slaughtered by creatures that call the mountain's inner cave systems their home. As the town tries to recover from this loss, more and more contracted miners and protection have been sent to aid the modest town. We begin on a sunny morning, despite the overall sense of loss and remorse that echoes throughout the town. Bodies covered with a cloth still remain outside the church of the Dawnbringer, victims of the cave-ins yesterday. And let us start with a visitor to Ainsborough, a Death Shepherd apprentice from Vermod, sent here with his mentor and a flock to help prevent any further tragedy. Woken suddenly by the sounds of shattered glass as the window to the tavern room they were staying at has been broken by a rock. So yeah, basically,
Sorry,
you and Nemphra, your beds are set on either side of the tavern, or of the tavern room, and both of you have been jolted awake by the sudden sound of shattering glass and the clattering of a rock hitting a wooden floor. Nemphra, immediately, hand to her chest, looks over to you.
Are you alright? As he kind of like clears some of the grogginess from his eyes. And
Did someone... That's a rock. And she slowly moves to the end of her bed to avoid the glass now laying on the floor between the two of you. And she goes to the door where she's got her boots resting beside it, and she starts putting her boots on.
Damien, kind of shuffles out from underneath his sheets, and very gingerly, moves some of the glass aside, from next to him, and he picks up the rock, as he slowly gets up onto his feet near the window, and he looks at the rock and then looks outside. What does he see?
He sees an empty dirt street. It seems that whomever threw the rock probably made a quick getaway. Also, can we take this opportunity for you to describe Damien?
Sure, that sounds like a pretty good idea. So, I play Damien Durac. He is a half-elf, and he is... sorry. I'm having one of those brain fart moments. But
That's okay.
he is a half-elf of approximately medium build, but he's very what's the term I'm looking for? Willowy. He's very willowy. As he doesn't have a particularly thick frame. If you were to see him at a glance, you would think that potentially the wind could carry him off. But he has dirty blonde hair, kind of gray-green eyes, the color of old dollar bills. And he is very serene and open with the world around him. Although not in this particular moment, as he has just gotten out of bed after a very long day, so he looks very disheveled and concerned. But I would say he probably pulls that look off pretty decently. But yes, he's just he's a humble lad who's here to help folks, both living and dead.
Alright.
Also potentially a candidate for a Disney princess. We're still trying to get that marketing deal.
Twice now.
I'm choking on dinner.
But yeah, so he turns around, still holding the rock, and he looks at Nemphra and he says, poor window. I mean, it's probably not going to come cheap to replace that. That's... He kind of just scratches his hand, or scratches his head with his other hand, and he just says, that was very rude. Who would do something like that?
You see Nemphra with a little bit of a crestfallen expression as she's kind of started to put some pieces together. And you see her take her shawl and start bundling it around her arm before approaching the glass mess and getting on her knees and starting to use that protected arm to kind of sort of shuffle it towards a smaller surface. Well...
Hey, okay. Give me just a second here. Let me help you. Don't get yourself cut now.
Who's in charge of protecting whom?
It's a mutual arrangement. You keep me safe, I keep you safe. Everyone is all for the better.
Well, thankfully, due to our contract with the Sovereign, this should be paid for, but it was still...
That was a good window.
Yeah, it was still rather needless.
I mean, it seems very indirect. If somebody has an issue with me, I'm more than willing to have a conversation.
I believe a conversation might not be what they have in mind, and this is definitely the act of a coward, to say the very least.
well, and Damien kind of lifts up the rock in his other hand as he's like helping pick up some of the glass pieces with his other. I'm certainly going to be having a conversation with whoever tossed this rock. It's extremely inappropriate behavior.
Well,
I mean, what if somebody was standing there? What if they got the wrong room?
these are all possibilities, but let us not forget our purpose of being here.
Well, I mean, of course.
I think the less waves we make, the better.
I suppose. No, you are right. It's no big deal, anyways. A window can be replaced. Nothing of major value was lost. I mean, you are all right. And he kind of just like begins fussing around and seeing if there are any cuts on her or anything.
I'm fine. It's okay.
Okay.
However,
Okay.
and she stands up and sort of dusts off her sleeping gown. I am going to go downstairs and request a broom. That might be a more sufficient means. But try not to let this bother you. We should probably start getting ready to move with the flock.
I mean, yes, the only thing that is currently bothering me is breakfast, and what is it? When will we have it? And why can't it be bread with cheese? Because that is what I am in the mood for.
Well, let's go down and see what's available.
That is a smart idea. And he kind of stands up and shuffles around the glass, making sure not to cut himself. And quickly throws on his shawl, grabs his crook, and dons the rest of his garb. But he does keep the rock with him. He pockets it.
Okay. As we go downstairs of the tavern, there might be one more individual here. Maybe possibly getting their breakfast, as they've also resided at the Stone Fruit Tavern tonight. And I'm seeing now that Hex is nowhere to be seen in his webcam.
Uh-oh. Maybe we summon him. Hamburger, Big Mac, cheeseburger, or hamburger, cheeseburger, Big Mac.
Hamburger? It worked!
Somebody's
Here!
All right. So,
Alright.
Hex, how light of a sleeper is Jonas?
He does not sleep at all, ever.
Excellent. So, if you're not already downstairs in the tavern eating something or drinking something, in your room you definitely would have heard the faint shattering of glass from echoing from down there.
Oh, yeah.
So, where is Jonas this morning?
Jonas is sort of lying back, one eye on the book, one eye on his roommate. Sort of groaning and growling back to life from his not exact sleep, more of a dissociative state where he's just trying to keep the ravenous out of his head, I think.
Okay.
Should eat some breakfast if you're that hungry. You're thinking about it that much.
The ravenous has been a little on the quiet side overnight here, but Douglas is definitely sound asleep, probably sleeping off another bout of drinking with some of the older folks of the mining guild. But yes, with the shattering of glass, what do you do?
Well then, little one, Oh, that's the wrong voice. Well then, little one, you get your rest. I believe I have other matters to attend to. Jonas is going to pocket the book, grab his scarf, and probably wander off to investigate whatever the heck that noise was.
All right.
Probably a smart idea.
Whether or not it even happened, Jonas is not entirely certain of.
I'll say it's probably around this time where Damien leaves his inn room. So you sort of bump into each other in the hallway there.
Huh.
Oh.
Oh.
Morning, Shepherd.
Huh. Good morning to you. And he gives a slight bow. How are you doing on this fine day?
Tired.
Yes, typically that is the sentiment before breakfast. Speaking of which, do you know what they are serving? I'm famished.
Probably soup. Do you hear anything recently?
Well, I mean, I hear your voice, but if you're speaking in the past tense, then there was, and he pulls the rock from his pocket, this thrown through our window, which was, well, I feel very unfortunate for the keepers of this inn, but we will have that taken care of shortly. And it is ultimately of no consequence. And he kind of stuffs the rock back in his pocket and walks forward and he says, "What is important is making sure that we are well fed for the day. Can't do any good on an empty stomach." And he lightly pats him on the shoulder.
Well, that is one way of looking at things. Mind if I join you?
Oh yes, please, the more the merrier. A meal is best shared with friends.
Yes, well, I'm afraid our friend is still passed well the hell out.
Understandable. Yes, come. And he grips his shoulder and turns him around back towards the main lobby sitting area.
And Jonas is not particularly well built either, so he's a scrawny little lad.
Okay.
I'm just a
But,
party
um,
full of lanky boys.
Yeah, no, but
He's well hardened. He's just not particularly big.
of course.
I also would like to give Hex an opportunity to describe Jonas.
Jonas does not particularly resemble his Jonas Alderson does not particularly resemble his mother. He has this sort of, again, this lightish bluey green skin, sort of long flowing hair that is often described as looking a little too much like seaweed. He has had parrots and such in the past that have been dwelling around, sort of take a bit of a peck at it. But Jonas's sort of most obvious features is this sense that whenever he enters the room, the air seems to chill slightly.
Oh,
I see. Like physically or metaphorically?
Physically.
Oh. Damien's used to working with cold bodies. He French.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's okay. He makes up for that with a warm personality.
All right. As you two descend the
And
stairs,
lots of soup.
and lots of soup.
Mm.
Speaking of which, as you two
Soup.
descend the stairs, you are met with the smells of sweet sap, maple, and sugar. Going down the stairs, you see some people sitting at tables, already starting to eat their breakfast. People who are already stained with, with coal and charcoal and whatnot. People who have worked in the mines for significant portions of their lives. And you see in front of them all, they have deep-set wooden bowls filled with a thick porridge, topped with various things, but mostly maple syrup, brown sugar. Some of them have taken the opportunity to splash some milk into their porridge just to help lighten it up and cool it down. Some folks have some coffees in front of them, teas in front of them. There's also on a few tables boards with thick, hearty, rustic loaves of bread and a smattering of cheese and cured meats. Both Damien and Jonas come from sort of coastal places and are used to vibrancy in their diets. Vibrancy which is sorely lacked this far inland. It is a series of beige and gray and browns.
My
There is not a fruit nor vegetable here to be seen on these darn
no
tables.
cabbages.
No cabbages.
It's cold in here.
Damien doesn't seem overly distraught at it at the moment. Yes, the diet is a little bit lacking, but this is the food of culture, of people, and thus
Jonas
we will
is go-
graciously accept it.
Jonas sort of glances around a little before the rather harsh realization that he's not going to spot who he's looking for. And he's just sort of gonna sheepishly follow Damien around.
Aww.
Yes, Damien
Meh.
is very confidently strutting forward to I don't know what serves as like a front counter, but he wants breakfast. He wants breakfast and he wants it now.
All right. I will say it's not very difficult for you guys to get food. Both of your breakfasts are covered under the contracts that you guys have taken. But as you guys start your day, I'm going to move onward to our second group, who set off very early in the morning in a carriage bot. A rather beautiful and robust looking caravan that is drawn by a metallic bull. That is, hold on, cat, no, there we go, sorry. I've got my dinner in front of me and my cat just like jumped up. It's just like, what you got going on here? So,
You got a little snack for me.
So yes, one of the best examples that DevCast has basically done in more recent years was the invention of mechanical beasts of burden. A lot easier to maintain and a lot cheaper to stable and take care of. But yes, you guys have been in this caravan for probably 2 hours at this point, through various conversations and dialogue, getting to know each other. Any subtle bump you notice one side of the caravan definitely moves a lot more than the other, as Stein is sitting on the left side of the caravan.
And as you'll see here, the quotient of Thorum's paradigm, if you twist the angle on the spell circle, you can get much more information written in the spell circle, and that makes your spells stronger, because the more that's written in the circle, the better they are.
Are we there yet?
I'm sure we're gonna be there soon, but here, take a look at this. And Ashram is gonna pull out his book and is just gonna start notating, like just basically giving a lecture at this point, like he's been doing for the last, like he pivots to a different talk about spellcasting, like he's been doing for the last 2 hours.
All right. Well, Ashram, how about you take this opportunity to also describe yourself?
Yeah, sure. Ashram is very thin, wiry, not very athletic looking, but thin. He is currently in a nice shirt and pants, and he has a nice cape, but if you look at him too closely, you do notice they're a bit threadbare, as if he's been wearing them for a while and had to wash them. He has brownish, black, like dark brown hair, with silver streaks. He has a goatee with silver in it as well. And yeah, he's just he's got bright eyes, always kind of looking around at the world and trying to analyze things. And has not noticed that no one cares about what he's talking about at all. And on one of his sides, he has his spell book slung.
All right. And
I keep that little thing for a moment.
Jones, thank you so much for the raid. Thank you. Can we get a shout out for Jones, please?
Big Jones.
Pin, how
Thank
about you
you.
take the opportunity to describe yourself?
Oh shit. Okay. Pin is they're a tiny little thing, like a strange looking little creature with big, like piercing blue eyes, like almost cyan. It's like a very unnatural color, and it's like shrouded slightly by like their weird like haircut that's like between a bob and a bowl cut. It's very mushroom-esque, but yeah. You seem like a normal, just cute kid until you look a little closely and you see they have like little joints and strange little bolts and connecting parts throughout their body. And yeah, wearing like a pretty dress that's like a yellow color, but it's dingy. Like the dress has definitely seen better days. And yeah, seem normal until you see their joints and you notice the huge robot that seems to always kind of be around them, very close. It's just like a big hulking boy weighing down one side of the carriage. His tummy is made of a furnace, and he wears a top hat. Very big
that's
hands.
adorable.
Very, very big
I will draw him one
hand.
day too.
Please do. Please just draw. Keep drawing. You're good
Lo-
at it.
love a Stein.
Okay.
Also, I'm really sorry because I know that chat definitely heard the fucking noise that I just made. Simba, who earlier was trying to get up and interact with me, but damn near stepped on my plate, tried to do it again, but this time his paws caught onto my headset cord and unplugged
Ooh.
it. And damn
Oh,
near
no.
yanked the headset off of my
The
fucking head.
chaos.
My 17-pound fat ass cat. All right, sorry about that.
Oh, we're all good.
And Cece, what are you doing as Ashram is delighting you all with the conversations and the theories behind magic? I see your thing lighting up, but I don't hear you specking. Frank? Oh, this is me. This is me.
Ah!
Chaos.
Okay, now I can
Holy
hear
shit,
you all
Mom
again.
died.
Okay.
Now I can hear you all
Okay.
again. Sorry about that, folks. That's probably just collateral from Simba being a fucking dumbass. Can we start that from the beginning there, Cece?
Yeah. So, when Pin just asks, "Are we there yet?" Cece says, "I wish we would have been there 2 hours ago, but I didn't know how much longer it's gonna be." And then just kind of like, and just like, you see CC kind of switching between two things. Either one, he's messing with his deck of cards, which which, as he puts it, he brought the wrong deck with him. He has two. Unfortunately, this is his mark deck, so he's making sure not to play any card games with people. But he's definitely doing kind of like sleight of hand magic and doing things kind of just to keep his hands kind of busy. Either that, or he's playing his harp and just kind of strumming things, whether it be him humming the tune of the tavern song that he made for the quench tank or whatever it may be. But one thing to note about CC is if you look at his hands, while being very dexterous, they are gloved. The only parts of his hands that are exposed are the pads of his fingers to allow him to play the harp better. And that is not the only part of him discovery. He's kind of fully bundled up. He has kind of purplish skin, dark brownish, like almost purplish hair, and dark brown eyes, and is kind of fully bundled from head to toe. Even though it should be warm, he seems to be fine. Seems to be doing completely fine. Doesn't seem any uncomfortable at all in the carriage. And so you just kind of see him humming along, and then and then look over. He's like, "So do you want to see another magic?" He looks to Pin, who looks kind of just done with it all, and then kind of Stein is like, "Would you like to see another magic trick, either of you? Because we have something to do."
I think Pin will kind of like turn ever so slightly to show that they're interested, but Stein is very much just like full attention at you. He's kind of just like starting to clap and shake a little bit in his seat. And like the whole carriage starts like, fucking schmooving a little bit with his weight.
Love it.
It is rather impressive to see Stein clap with one hand.
Clap against his thigh. Oh yeah, I forgot.
Clap against his thigh or chest. He's just like,
Yeah, there we go.
Keep clapping, but
That
it
is-
ain't his hands.
That is something I don't think got mentioned earlier. Stein is currently missing an arm.
I mentioned because I forgot.
Poor Stein.
It's okay. We'll fix it. We'll make it better.
faster, stronger, better.
Alright, so yes.
Hour after.
Pin expressed interest, and Stein is fully enveloped in what Cece's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Anything but the lecture.
anything with action. You just hear the shuffle of cards as like
Ashram
he
is
slowly
not
starts.
paying attention. It's just talking to himself at this point.
Talking to the wall, to the bowl.
To the window, to the wall, to the swept dripping down my balls.
Wow.
I'm projectile stupid. I apologize.
Oh, good.
So magic
Yeah.
trick?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
magic trick. So he kind of just shuffles the cards together a little bit. And it's wild because I know how to do this magic too. So he does like a bridge shuffle and kind of shuffles them and spreads them in a very like tight fan, almost as if this has been practiced. And asks Pin to pick a card, or says either Pin or Stein, whichever prefer to pick a card.
I think Pin would kind of like reach to pick one up, and then would like look at Stein and see like how excited he was, and then like gesture for Stein to go, and Stein would pick it.
Oh, my heart.
He.
Okay, so I gestured to Stein and I was like, all right, pick a card. I was like, and once you pick it, don't show it to me. Make sure to show, if you want to show Pin, if you want to make sure to memorize it, do your best to make sure to not forget it, and then just place it back on the top of the deck.
He abides. He just shared the card with Pin.
Okay.
And then put it back, like you said.
Yep.
Excitedly.
As soon as it's put on the top of the deck, you see CC start cutting the deck in ways where for anyone who knows Magic, it's not like a shuffle, but it's just pure cuts of the deck. And it seems, or apologies, you put it on the top of the deck. CC starts cutting the deck and going through. And what happens is CC starts basically doing this as he brings up his old ways of remembering how to use cards. And beforehand, he had flipped the deck kind of just to show that they were normal cards, and made a note of the bottom card. And so as he cutting the deck, the bottom card is now on top and basically next to the card that that Pin and Stein have used, and he's just continuing to cut the deck. Eventually flourishes it across like a table or like a makeshift table across the floor of the carriage, and flips all of the cards kind of together almost like an accordion style. And he just looks at the Stein. He's like, Stein, I'm going to need you to make sure to think of your card very hard. And I was like, and Pin, make sure that he's not lying about it. And he starts slowly going through, and you just see CC starts slowly taking away parts of the deck until basically he sees there's like 5 cards left, and he just picks out the card that he believes to be yours. He's like, and was this your card?
I'm gonna guess that it was. The trick went over successfully.
I was like, I can run a sleight of hand to make sure if I horribly just messed up the trick.
You know what? Yeah, roll me a sleight of hand.
Oh boy.
Can I roll
Okay.
as well?
Sure. So that is a 17.
17. You know what? That is the card. This is a trick that you've done
Period.
countless times, and it was very simple to follow, and you definitely picked up the 3 of clubs.
I do have a question as well. While he was doing the trick, would it have been possible for Pin to try and like learn how it works? So like,
Roll me. Roll me a wisdom check.
uh-oh.
Oh, actually.
Oh dear.
No. Yeah. You know what? No.
Kind of stumped.
You
I
got.
do not see it.
You got way too enthralled and enamored with everything that was going on. And this is the most engaging and interesting entertainment you've had in the past 2 hours.
Yeah, this is true.
I go to Stein. I was like, Stein, don't worry, I'll teach you the trick later.
Okay, all right. Now it's one thing for the passengers to have an opinion, but God themselves
No.
telling
D,
me
D,
I'm incredibly
D,
boring.
D, no. I
That's
find
fine.
it very interesting, but I had to speak from the perspective of Pin.
Oh, 100%.
This is true.
No, I agree.
God herself is just like, holy shit, shut up.
As that's happening, I look over to
God.
Ashram. I'm worried Ashram sees that and be like, I wonder what type of magic that is. And it's going to start asking me.
Not even paying attention. Deep in a book, just muttering to himself as he's sitting there writing and talking.
Just, you know what's better than pussy? A good book.
Wow. Yep. There you go.
Yeah, baby.
But like, yeah, I think
That'll
see,
be
like-
the new thing that's under Ashram's picture when we do the next.
Your new quote.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's just
Yeah.
a shirt that Ashram has, just a t-shirt. Fan artists, I want to see that.
Coochie's pretty cool, but have you tried reading?
Hashtag
Oh my
instinct
God.
on Twitter. Anywho. But yes, as this is going on, the caravan slowly starts to to stop, and you feel the momentum of the caravan just sort of lurching forward as you hear the squeaking on the frame of the caravan. And eventually you guys hear a few taps on the window that separates you folks from the driver. All right, it's your stop. Time to get out.
What if you don't wanna?
All right. Cece's gonna kind of just stand
All
up
right.
and kind of dust themselves off, make sure their gloves are like tight on their hands or not loose. Make sure they have their harp on them. And says, and just kind of like knocks back, like, "Thank you again for the ride."
No worries, Pen. We'll finish this discussion another time. Puts the notebook away. Thank the bus driver, as is common in Fortnite, and head out.
God damn it.
Pin wordlessly leaves hand in hand with Stein. Everyone else did the thank yous. Y'all are fine.
The caravan noticeably shifts, jerks off to the side as Stein gets down the small steps there, and then eventually, as soon as Stein's heavy weight leaves the caravan, it just lurches back towards a more upright position. You hear the driver just kind of give a whoa. But looking back at the caravan and at the caravan bot there, the mechanical bull that pulled the caravan towards Einsborough. You see the orange glowing runes on its arms and on its chest have started to dull to a little bit more of a deep orange amber color. But as the caravan driver starts it back up again, you see that building energy in the ox once more as the runes almost glow a white hot, and you see steam leave from the ox's nose as it starts to turn the caravan around and go back down the road that you all just traveled.
Fascinating.
You guys are now in Einsborough, a very small and modest town, but it almost smacks you in the face immediately with its mining industry. As you guys enter the town proper, you see immediately to your left side is the part of the mountain that it is connected to, and you see various entryways that have already been made into the mines, and you see rail tracks that lead out of the mines. You see some carts on those tracks full of ores or full of other materials such as rock, or even full of tools. But one thing that you guys also notice is not too far off, there are a few bodies that are covered in a white cloth. Those who have experienced mass tragedy or death before would know kind of what that is there for. But you also see a gathering of people gathering around a smaller figure that's sort of hard to make out in the crowd. I will also say, Jonas and Damien, you guys were able to have your breakfast, and you guys were able
Thank God
to.
I was worried.
But yeah, you guys were able to have your breakfast, and you were able to, be unleashed on the town for the day. Nemphra basically tells you, Damien, that she's going to go to the church and look over the flock to get them ready for the day, and she will meet you over there when you're ready.
Okay. Damien, before going, has a little bit of a micro brain blast, and could I potentially use mending to reconstruct the shards into full panes by piecing them together piece by piece?
So, the way mending works, and I'm just going to double check the 5e written thing for mending. This spell repairs a single break or a tear in an object you touch, such as a broken chain link. It can be no larger than 1 foot in any dimension. So it takes a minute to cast mending. And if you're willing to take probably about 20 minutes, 30 minutes, you will be able to repair that window.
See, that's Damien very well just might. But he, at the very least, he tells the tavern or innkeeper. Do we have a name for that bloke?
You do have a name for that, madam.
It was Gertrude, wasn't it?
Gertrude, yep.
Gertrude, right. He, you know, let's just real quick. Damien has a little conversation, with Gertrude before he carries on his business.
Mm-hmm.
And he just makes it very clear that he will fix that window, once he has some time at the end of the day. And he is going to again do something about the hole in her wall, once he has some time. But he does have some duties as a shepherd that he must take care of.
She will look almost shocked that you're taking it upon yourself to fix this window. She will apologize that this happened under her roof, and just basically try to impress. Oh, you don't need to worry yourself about that. Surely I can hire somebody else, and the Sovereign should definitely be taking care of any expenses of yours while you're here, and it's not really under your purview. You don't have to really worry about that, though I do genuinely appreciate the gesture.
Well, I mean, you folks have taken us underneath your roof, given us your food. It's the least I can do, and I mean, while yes, we are technically covered, there's no real need to spend money if you can take care of it, and I, fortunately, possess the ability to do so. So I promise you.
If it's not too much of a stress on you, yet maybe later after you've taken care of some duties.
It would be my pleasure. As he kind of leans forward and says, "Your hospitality has spoke volumes to me, and I will make sure that window will be taken care of.
Well,
Along with the hole in your wall. That is going to be a little bit more of a complicated fix, I will be honest."
yeah, that's what he always said, huh? Well, I appreciate everything you've done for me so far as well. So, again, don't worry too much about it, but I do very much appreciate the willingness to do so.
It is again the very least I can do. I wish you the best with your commerce today, dear Gertrude.
Well,
but
it
I
seems
do
like we're
unfortunately
getting some more people in from DevCast to help tend to the mining. So
I did notice that. I believe yesterday you said you were expecting more people to come in today.
yes, especially after the word of the attacks are going to get back to DevCast, we're probably going to see a spike in sellswords and those here to do wet work.
Oh. Well, more of an opportunity to meet new faces and new points of view. I bid you adieu and hope that you have a wonderful day.
Aye, see you for lunch.
Oh, he turns on his heels and gives her the finger guns. I assure you, I will be back for lunch. And he pivots again, and strolls out the front, seemingly unbothered by the day's start. Admittedly, he does not head straight to Nympha. He does kind of take a walk around the town to get to know it a little bit better.
Okay. I will get back to you in a moment.
Okay.
Jonas, where did you head off after breakfast? Are you going to head immediately towards Geese, or are you going to take care of something else?
He's dead.
I think he's pondering.
I'm still like not super awake, so
Well, if you want, I can
it's
go
gonna
back
take
to I can go back to the second
well,
group.
no, it's the problem of it's gonna take a moment to get into character, which just isn't gonna happen without actually doing stuff. So I think Jonas is going to um. I need to check my notes, but if I recall correctly, Jonas spotted something a little strange looking when he was going on his walk the first time, sort of nestled over by the trees.
I know I gave you a piece of information that's pertinent to the current overarching story, so I don't know if that's what you're referring to or not.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Though, if we're not sure what we're talking about here, he'll probably just head over to the strange little goblin-y Nomi. What is he?
Kobold.
Kobold. The lizard one. Okay. Yes, Kobold.
All right. As you make your way over, you see Geese is pulling at a wooden crate, probably 5 times his weight. But you see him.
He's a kobold. He's fine.
Yeah. You
He's
see
got
him,
back tactics.
exactly. You see him tugging on it. You see him kind of positioning it over with a few other wooden crates before eventually letting it go and taking a few steps back and looking at it, and then going back to fiddle with it some more with great strain before eventually deciding it's in a good enough spot. And you see him sort of clamber up on top of it. And he eventually looks over to you. Ah, the blue one! Come here!
Yes. Good morning. I believe we worked out some form of agreement with new recruits.
Yes, Geese will pay you from personal gold. Personal gold Geese will pay you in order to tell the newer wet work people what happened yesterday. Though strange, you don't want to stay longer now that the gold is up to 100 for those killing Gribblies, yeah?
I think I'll leave it to someone a little more capable than I. If we're getting down to specifics.
All right.
But I'm willing to share what I know.
As I see, the caravan bots stopped recently. I think we should have groups soon. You ready?
Jonas pulls out the Ravenous' book, which he has been scribbling in a few blank pages at the end. Yes, I do believe I've got everything compiled.
All right. So not only the caravan bot that Pin, Ashram, and Cece arrived, there was a few others. You see a few different folks of various walks of life. You see some of them wearing simple leather armors and simple weapons. You see one or two of them actually with more well-maintained gear as well. Probably people who do this for a bit of a living. But mostly the people who arrived on the caravan bots today are here specifically for wet work. And they start heading towards the dark greenish colored kobold as he stands on top of his little crate tower that he constructed in order to at least stand on eye level with these people. And he waved them over. Oh, I see a stretch. I'm going to do a stretch because chat asked me to do stretch.
This is good for you.
This is good. I do be shrimping. But yes, Pin,
That's never
Ashram,
good.
and Cece, you do see a bit of a crowd forming around this around this kobold as it's kind of screeching to make itself known and guiding people over towards it.
Yeah, I guess I'll make my way over to the kobold if they seem to be the one planning this whole situation.
Yes, probably. That would be a good idea.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of follow along last, kind of like just slowly, like, excuse me, pardon me, I'm just trying to get over there. Thank you.
All right. Geese's rather bulbous, piercing yellow eyes scans the group. You all look weirder day by day, but come, yes. Geese. I am head of minor group here.
Sherm just sort of gives himself a once-over, like, do I look weird? I mean, I think I look all right, but
You look
say
you look
weird.
weird. You're too clean to be doing this.
Oh. Well, you know, you have to maintain a certain level of hygiene.
Don't worry, first day we'll fix that. You'll get dirty. Dirt is good. Mud keeps scales nice and clean, safe from sun.
What if you don't have scales?
I'm sure it works good with what you have too.
Then clearly you should grow some.
That's fair, I guess. I don't really know how to respond to that.
Geese will pat the top of Jonas's head. No scales but gills. I can respect. Geese can respect. However, Blue One is here to tell you what he encountered in the mines yesterday. Listen to Blue One.
So, there was something of a cave-in yesterday. I'm not sure if it was caused simply by the miners, the monsters, or some higher power. But the reality of it is we have some strange creatures that I believe Maria called Gribblies. They sort of little, almost bug-like creatures. Very, actually, I say little. That come up to about here on me. But they
Where did he point when he said that? I didn't see that.
about shoulder height.
1 second.
Shoulder height. Okay.
I will see what
Give us the grand tour of the Gribbly.
Oh wait. Oh, what did I
Show
do
us.
with the Google Doc? Hello. What is their size? They are a medium monstrosity.
Yeah.
Jeez.
They're basically like
They're basically
That's
the
a-
size of Great Danes. Like
That's a big bug. Oh.
that's a big boy.
Gribbly is kind of like a cute name for such a terrifying creature.
That's kind
But,
of terrifying.
terrifying. Yes, they have knife for feet.
Well, that's probably not good.
Actually,
But
no.
Okay.
So are these Gribblies just wandering in the mines now after this cave-in?
As far as I'm aware, the majority of them have been, and my voice is changing again, the majority of them have been cleaned up, shall we say. The undead made sure of that. I'm not quite sure where he's gotten to, but, that's not particularly important right now. So I don't have my notes for what I actually wrote down about these, so I'm going to need a bit of a refresher.
You shouldn't use diner napkins as notebooks.
Bad.
Yeah, I used dino napkins instead.
Yeah.
How else will my notes smell like French fries though if I don't use diner napkins?
Put your dino nuggies in the shape of words.
Oh,
I would.
fucking Fee deep frying her dino nuggies. Strange creature.
I could go for some dino nuggies.
Let's
Yeah.
Sorry,
stay,
are we just
let's
gonna
stay
gloss
on
over-
task. You know what, Hex, if you can't find your notes on them, I'll DM you what they are.
Thank
You
you.
can comprise your own notes. Damien, was there anything in particular you were looking for during your little romp around
Yes.
the town, or shall I say that you kind of see this crowd growing near the mine entrance now?
He wasn't really embarking out for anything in particular. He just genuinely wanted to become a little bit more familiar with the town, potentially show his face around a little bit more so he wouldn't seem as out of place to some of the people here. Some gentle exposure therapy.
Yeah.
Outside of that, then he probably would have, after exploring a little bit of the town at least, head to Nymphra's locale.
Okay. These guys are kind of gathering at the mining entrance, which is near where the church is. So as you're making your way to the church, you'll... Oh my god, Kat, can you stop sneezing, please? Off the desk. You'll see the group that is kind of gathered around Jonas, and the greenish kobold standing on a few wooden crates. As you scan the crowd, though, there's one thing that kind of strikes you in particular. There is an automaton. There is a mechanical being that, though you are aware that there are other Warforged-like entities outside of Vermod, you've never really seen one look like this before. The ones you see in Vermont are almost like art pieces.
I can fade out of reality. Ooh.
But this one does not really resemble an art piece. It kind of looks a little piecemeal, a little more put together with what was available. And it's also only has one arm, which is a little weird. You can see that technically it should have had two. Oh my god, Cat. It should have had two, but you notice that it is definitely missing one at sort of the shoulder joint area.
And he has a big fancy hat.
And he's wearing a fancy hat.
Damien immediately forgets what he was doing, and kind of in a trance, just walks up behind the construct, and just says, "Absolutely fascinating," and he just kind of like begins stepping to the side and examining, kind of forgetting himself for a moment as he's taken into it. I don't know. He's kind of a goober.
Yeah.
But
so yeah, he's kind of up that automatons took us for a quick second, just marveling at it.
Oh, poor Stein. But yes, Hex, do you have have you compiled yourself now on how Jonas would like to describe these entities?
Yes. So, yes, as I was saying, they're not particularly small. They definitely hunt in groups, from what I've seen. 3 to 4 usually. They very adept at seeing in the dark, so keep a light source on you at all times.
Ashram raises his hand.
Yes, strange one.
Ashram? Yes, my name is Ashram.
Sorry.
Would you say that they are advanced in seeing in the dark to the point of light harming them or blinding them in some way? And he's got a notebook and he's just in there writing.
Frankly, I didn't have much chance to experiment, but a well-placed lightning blast certainly would harm one, but I don't think that's the question.
I see. Okay.
But as far as I'm aware, no. I should warn you, they're a big fan of the ceiling.
Okay, just kind of talking as you're ready. Okay, big fan of the ceiling. Got it. Got it.
So like they will, when they are not actively ripping you limb from limb, they are likely to retreat to higher places. So I recommend if you're on work duty, always keep a ranger or a caster close that can put them in their place, shall we say.
Okay. That's a very good thing then.
Other than
And-
that, they're not particularly intelligent. They just sort
And
of surround you and rip you apart.
Oh, I see. Okay, surround you and rip you.
I love that I
Hard.
hear the keyboard.
Yeah. Oh, can you hear my keyboard? Sorry.
The clicky clacky,
Better.
yeah, it's so good.
I have a specifically non-clicky clacky keyboard, so that's wild.
It's not abrasive. It's just like I can hear it faintly.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And about how many do you think are left in the mines?
As far as I'm aware, this is their home. Hundreds, thousands, maybe.
Oh,
You shouldn't be fighting more than 4 or 5 at a time.
hundreds or thousands. Got it. And how many are we trying to clear out today?
That's not what wet work is.
Oh,
You're
okay.
not here to exterminate. No, no, no. You're here to protect those who are here to work in the mines. So if if 20 assail you, it's your job to your job to fight them off.
Okay. I was under the impression we were going in to clear the mines out of these things.
Nope.
No,
But we're just protection then.
Yep.
I see.
we might
Very
need
well.
a larger task force if we were to go on extermination duty.
It sounds like it. I don't quite have the arcane ability to take on 20 of them at a time, but I'm sure I can handle 1 or 2 maybe.
CC's gonna like raise his hand and be like, you said you dealt with a lot of these yesterday yourself, correct? Apologies, I didn't catch your name.
Jonas, it's
Yeah. Jonas. So, did you deal with them yesterday on your own as well, or with the other group who was, I'm assuming, doing wet work?
no, it was really just me.
Whoa, well then. Did they seem to have any sensitivities, like to light or anything along those lines?
I not seemingly. I was keeping a light source close, and they didn't seem particularly bothered. Though it certainly doesn't seem as though the light source helps them track you at all. So there's no harm in keeping it.
Okay, good to know.
Dungeon Master. What would I recognize about Jonas? Do they appear magical in nature? I mean, what's so funny about that? What? I just want to know.
Roll me.
It's just Asherim.
Roll me a wisdom
Okay.
check.
It's
A
just the
wisdom
Asherim.
check. Okay.
It's just
I was
Asherim
just
being
like-
magic. Hold up, I want to make sure. Do I want to ask
Yeah.
some questions?
What's going on with this whole
You're looking
situation?
mighty magical tonight, I must say.
You said a wisdom check.
S'il vous plaît, wisdom.
Gonna roll the dice.
A nice throw.
Ooh,
Dirty
dirty
20.
20.
Let's go.
So,
I'll take
Ashram, having been born and raised in Kelpsa, Ashram has definitely seen a variety of people from Kelpsa. And a predominant race over there is actually the Water Genasi, which Jonas definitely resembles. Additionally, though it doesn't look to be current Kelpsa fashion standards, you see some of Kelpsa's influence in how Jonas is dressed.
I should point out that
see.
I think Jonas would probably have met Asherim before, just in passing.
Okay. I mean, if you were as part of the institute, potentially, yes.
Yeah, I was going to say, I probably not so much as a met as maybe a passing glance on the
Yeah.
street. Yeah.
I think you see
But,
just kind of mouthing, okay, Water Genasi. maybe Kelpson.
Like-
Like he doesn't say this out loud, but you just see him sort of
Yeah.
mouthing. Maybe Kelpson. Do I get a bead on their sort of if they have like magical ability or like aptitude in any way?
Well, Jonas has, I believe, a rapier or a short sword.
2 daggers and a light crossbow.
There we go. 2 daggers and a light crossbow. And interestingly, note for Ashram in particular, there appears to be a leather-bound tome on his side.
Okay, and yeah, okay, so okay, very good.
But
to know.
you can't quite tell if that is like a wizard's tome or anything like that. It could honestly just be a diary. But being a wizard yourself,
Right.
Ashram, it just kind of definitely stuck out to you.
Okay.
It is very obviously the tome itself is very obviously not made by an experienced hand.
Okay. Interesting. All right, I will take those notes down in my own book. And yeah, good work. Thank you. Good work, me, for figuring that out.
Let's maybe cut to Damien and Pin there as Jonas is
Okay.
describing these entities that he encountered. And Damien is sort of inspecting Stein, which is unfortunately something Pin has grown a little too used to.
Because act like you've never seen a robot before.
Well, Damien is, put lightly, a nerd.
Nerd.
Yeah?
Nerd.
Nerd.
And again, since he's come here, he's seen like constructs and Warforged that do not resemble the one from his homeland at all. And this fascinates him deeply. So yeah, he does just kind of immediately, airheadedly approach behind Stein, and kind of just forgetting himself, just begins inspecting the construction and marveling at it. And then as soon as he sees kind of Pin just maybe not a glare but staring at him, he just says, "Pardon me, I'm just this individual here. Their construction just frankly fascinates me. We have folks like him where I'm from, but the build is entirely different. It's quite frankly marvelous." He says,
No, it's just like, okay, well, he seemed a little weird at first, but damn, he do be giving me compliments though. So I think Pin would like you were saying, probably they didn't seem the friendliest at first, slightly staring daggers while you were invading their robot's personal space. But once you start of course, yeah, but once you know, at some point their expression would start to soften in your monologue and they would just say, "Thank you. You're still a little bit too close."
"Oh," and he like kind of looks down at himself and he's like, "I am hovering. I do apologize about that." He backs up a little bit. I hope you'll forgive my manners there for a second. It's just when it comes to something new, I kind of get lost into the moment. But he plants his crook into the ground next to him, and he takes a deep bow and he says, "Pleasure to make your acquaintance. I am Damien."
It will kind of like mimic him a little bit and give him like a little curtsy and just be like, "My name is Pin. It's nice to meet you as well. And don't worry, we're starting to get used to that reaction."
I could.
Oh. No, I was just gonna say Stein would probably also like do a little bow. A little like tip of the hat.
Oh, that's a marvelous hat you have there.
Trembles with joy.
But funnily enough, that is a situation that I am becoming a little bit too familiar with myself.
I am just gonna BRB while you guys do this RP.
Yay!
No,
DM's gone, we make up our own rules.
we cannot be left unsupervised.
immediately breaks down. Just immediate breakdown.
I mean, all right, you got it. You can't see it, but I stood up and I'm dancing.
Can't break
I'll
more
stand a little
windows.
bit.
No for vandalism.
Yes, vandalism.
DM is gone. Fuego time.
Yeah, baby. But no, he just kind of in himself. He says, if you don't mind me asking, where are you folks from? I admittedly haven't seen much of the world, and I am learning so much recently.
We just arrived from DevCast. We're here to help with the wet work.
Oh, I suppose we might be working alongside of one another then. I'm here for very similar purposes. I'm actually from Vermont. I don't know if you're familiar.
At the mention of Vermont, Cece's gonna kind of like lean over and be like, wait to look like kind of get in the conversation, and just be like, apologies, I don't mean to interrupt. Is everything okay? Also, did I hear you're from Vermont?
Oh yes.
Oh well, hi. Also, nice to meet you. You can call me
Pleasure.
Cece.
I return.
Who are you? And if I may ask, what is your name?
I am Damien, and again he gives another bow, and he says, I am a shepherd from Vermont, here to assist with all of you. I would assume, if you're here to help with the mines.
Believe we are. Remind me after this is over. I'm definitely going to want to speak with you a little bit later. There's a few things I would love to discuss about Vermont with you.
Well, I am always game for a little bit of intellectual jousting.
And then after that, Cece's gonna kind of go back. He's just messing with his stuff, making sure like the rapier is like there's no cracks or it like still bends as it should for the foil. The daggers are set, kind of just like making sure his harp is tuned correctly because definitely don't want a sour note when when we're in the mine.
Yes. But yeah, while Cece and what's his name? Damien. While Cece and Damien were having their conversation, Pin would probably have just been like silently studying Damien, just like watching him from afar. And like, well, I know because I drew him, but Damien has like, the painted hand thing. Would Pin have any idea of what that means or what that is?
Pin hasn't really ventured too far outside of Central Belmass, so I'm gonna say no. It's probably not something that Pin is familiar with.
Must be like a weird fashion thing.
Yeah. Again, as you observe him, he looks very very bubbly and pleased to be talking to new people and to be sharing this little exchange. But would Damien notice Pin observing his hand?
Roll me your perception.
Yeah, let's let the dice decide.
I also imagine is Pin being secretive about it?
Probably not. Pin's eyes are like 85% of their head according to my art style, so you see them.
I mean, maybe not with a 5. They might.
Yeah.
He might be a little distracted.
Yeah, too caught up in the pleasant conversation.
But also, we'll say maybe it's because Damien does notice that Jonas is kind of at the center of this group, giving a little bit of a lecture, talking about the things that he encountered yesterday.
When he sees Jonas, he kind of like holds still for a second and his eyebrows shoot up, and then he doesn't yell, but like he sticks up his hand very high and waves and mouths, "Hello, Jonas." Jonas.
Jonas does the sort of 2-finger salute.
And he just Damien gives a thumbs up.
Ashram is still grilling Jonas about like, and would you say that their carapace is more subjective to crushing damage or more like a piercing motion?
Definitely more of a piercing notion. They didn't
Okay.
take kindly to crossbow bolts.
Piercing is much. Piercing works. Okay, piercing works.
I kind of
Crushing.
imagine
Nor did they take kindly to an eldritch blast. But we'll.
Eldritch Blast? Oh, okay. Interesting. Interesting.
I see you're one of those.
No. Ashram understands that it does take all kinds, even the ones that do take the shortcut. That's fine. But yeah, and he's like, and would you say like they're more of like a multi? You said they had multiple legs. They were like knife. They used their legs for combat.
Yes. Their
see.
front legs are great for sort of impaling attacks and.
Okay. That's good to know. That's good to know. And would you say that they were? How would Ashram put this? More arachnid focused or insectoid in a way?
More insectoid.
Insectoid. Interesting. Okay. I think that is a good place to stop for now. I believe that should be enough. But if I have any other questions,
You know where to
I will
find me.
Yes. And your name was Jonas, correct?
Yes, Jonas Alderson.
Ashram, and he holds out his hand for a handshake.
Jonas reaches out his hand, and you can feel it's a little colder than you expected, even for a fish.
Even for a fish.
Would I know like anything about like, or am I just assuming cold hands?
I can't say that you've really interacted too closely with many water genasi, but this is a little colder than you were expecting.
Ooh, cold hands, warm heart. I like it. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. And good.
Geese will eventually. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna make a dumb joke about how the baddest bitches have the coldest hands and feet.
God damn it. All right. Geese will eventually speak up. All right. Make sure you'll get your names written down at the Iron Apple. Over there. Big building, lots of food. Go over there, get rooms, then we get groups, and we start with mines. Why are you all standing here?
I'll
I
start.
give
heading-
clear instructions.
Jonas is going to walk straight over to the nearest body of water he can find.
Okay. I'll say that you, it was raining pretty heavily yesterday, so I'll say there's probably a barrel around, sort of topped up with rainwater.
Alright. So he's going to sort of stride over to that, sort of stare down into the water. Wakey, rubbish water demon.
You get that chilling sensation in the back of your skull, once again. Did you miss me?
Don't start. Look, believe it or not, for once I don't have a direction.
A direction?
What do I need to do?
Well, are you unsure? You seemed rather sure yesterday.
There are people here worth keeping an eye on.
Did you spot the child in the crowd?
Don't start with me.
It'd be a shame to see their pretty little guts spilled out on that stone floor.
And we know full well it's not my place to help them.
Oh, but that's all you'll be thinking about on the carriage ride out of this little town.
Whether I could save them or not is none of my concern. Just tell me. What do you want?
There's something about this town. I can't quite put a finger on it yet. Something towards the mountain.
So that's the last place I want to be. Thank you. I'll be leaving now.
Alright. You leave, and that visage, that ripple in the water, just vanishes.
So, quick production question: am I supposed to be hearing music right now?
Yes.
Okay, I am not hearing
We don't.
music.
You might just want to turn it up all the way. It is low on.
I hear
if I
it.
turn-
Oh, is it through
Yeah, it's
roll
through
20?
Roll20.
Yeah, it's roll 20.
Yeah, that's
Oh, well,
what I
that'd be
was
why I can't hear it.
trying to figure out.
Oh,
I
believe
unfortunately
I'm-
don't know how to make a music box work in Discord because I'm effectively a grandmother in a young elven body.
Mood, honestly, mood.
It's okay. They've been cracking down on most of
I don't know.
like the copyright people and stuff have all been cracking down on most of the music bots anyway.
Gross.
Maybe it's because I joined before it started. Let me rejoin back in and see if that works.
Yeah, or maybe like
can you
There
refresh
is-
or something.
That
If
would
you
do it.
if you go to settings and then audio and video, there is a master music level.
No, it was literally because I hadn't joined because it was saying it was playing nothing. I figured it out.
Okay.
I got there.
Fair enough.
But yeah, real quick, Damien does look to Pin and say, and Cece, and Frank, looks to them and says, I would love to learn a little bit more about each of you, but I have some business to attend to. But I will be staying at tavern name DM.
The stone fruit tavern.
Stone Fruit. Okay, because I know
Not,
what I
it's
have
not
in my
Iron
notes
Apple
was wrong.
anymore.
Damn it! Did I say
Uh,
Iron Apple earlier?
you
Yeah.
did.
Yeah,
Fuck
you did.
me.
Are
Okay.
we all instructed to go there anyway?
Yeah, you
Stone
all were
Fruit.
instructed to go there. It's like the only
Yeah, we
tavern
all
in
start-
town.
Yeah.
Like when you say goodbye, we all start walking the same way.
But you can find me
That's
there.
awkward.
Should you need me, again, if you need help, I'll be more than happy to do so. But I do have some business to attend to, so I wish you all well with your work. And I suppose I will hopefully see you again later. And he gives another small little bow, pulls his staff from where he grounded it, and continues towards the church.
All right. I think now might be an excellent opportunity for us to take our 10-minute break, if folks are down for that.
Sure.
Sounds good.
All right, I'm going to deafen in the Discord, and we will be back in about 10 minutes' time, folks. Enjoy this BRB screen. Alrighty, let's start to come back now.
Especially because the teaser had us back to back.
Hello.
Yep. Oh,
Not
hello.
I'm just watching D just like fucking come back from the dead.
Oh no! What is
She
going on
raises.
here? I'm having that weird issue that your 2D tuber was having with the eyes won't stay open. It's getting really annoying.
Oh.
Listen,
Oh,
you're just
shoot.
studying the back of your eyelids really, really well.
Did I
Yeah, I
not
got all the
update...
DM notes on the back of my eyelids.
Hold up. Did I not actually update CC's fun fact? Did I
No.
flip that?
Yeah, it's
That
Damien.
was
Damn it.
hilarious.
Pepperoni,
Yeah, it's great.
pepperoni. Sorry.
Well, we decided that CC was gonna play Damien and then Damien was gonna play Stein.
Mm-hmm.
I've been
So,
under a
we're
lot of
good.
stress.
No worries.
Fine.
It's okay. We just have 2 schizophrenic party members now.
Yeah.
Give us a nice little chuckle. Give us something to laugh about during the break.
It was great.
I was just like, that's strange. I didn't know CC's legal name was Damien. Just gonna drop that on us.
I wish
thought-
it was
yeah.
Damien instead of the name it actually is.
Cornelius.
I'm sure
No.
CC does
It's
too.
fucking
First
CC?
name CC, last name Pizza. CC's.
You know it.
Yeah.
No,
Did you
CC.
First name CC, last name 2 all.
Oh no, CC's. Because the reason I tell everyone to say CC is because also my character's full name is just a mouthful.
It
Like
is.
because it's Irish Gaelic, so it's Coinloch Harvin.
It's very good.
Whoa.
Got
Love
it. So
it.
CC.
Yeah, so
Cornelius
that's what-
Cornwall.
Yeah,
please just call me CC.
right.
I'm begging you.
My drow mother.
He's fantasy
curse.
Irish.
Alright. Oh. Goodbye.
I'm alright.
Daniela.
I will be back. I promise. I have to
I'm
reload the
I'm
thing.
still dead apparently. I'm just a black screen.
Yeah, I don't
The
know why
void.
yours isn't working. Oh, there we go.
Oh, I'm a crab again. Hell yeah.
Crap.
Crab rape.
Alright.
Rape.
So let's get back to this. Let's before we get to everybody...
It is a little strange being the only flesh and blood human being.
Listen, I'm trying to
Hello.
fix it. I'm hoping I can get out of my computer and join you on an actual camera like soon. It might happen midstream. Who knows? Just
Ever... Just
Ow.
point and laugh at the regular human being who doesn't pretend to be an anime person online.
It's okay. We've got Spanner now.
I don't know what you're talking about. Pretending.
I'll distract people with Spanner.
Alright, let's rein it on back in. Let's
Sorry.
get the group heading to the Stone Fruit Tavern. Let's get you guys there. The Stone Fruit Tavern, as you guys approach, it seems to be what was once maybe a manor or an estate, kind of repurposed and reused to be the tavern now. And as you guys walk in, what would normally be the serving hall, the mess hall, the dining hall has been repurposed to be the tavern portion. And you see a bar along the far back wall, and behind it you see a rather stout human woman with sun-stained skin and thick, curly brown hair sort of pulled back into a loose, low bun. And you see her sliding cups of liquid down the bar to the people who are waiting. And you also see her writing in a book in between doing that. But yeah, the tavern is pretty much full of people who clearly have worked in the mines for a significant portion of their... What are you doing, buddy?
Don't worry about it.
You're distracted. But yes, full of people who've worked in the mines for a significant portion of their lives, and following in behind the lot of you are the other people who've also arrived for wet work. So yeah, the bar is slowly becoming more and more occupied with people who are looking to sign in.
Ashram will immediately get in line.
All right.
Nerd waits in line.
Cece's going to as well, and then look over to Pin and be, do you want to sign in for yourself and Stein, or would you like me to sign in?
They kind of like, how long is the line?
There's probably about 4 people ahead of you at this point.
And it doesn't take that long.
I was about to say, in enough to inconvenience Pin.
Stein is very long. Yeah, they're gonna just like, if you could do it, that would be great. Thanks.
No problem.
Little's hold Stein's hand and just walk into a corner. Dissociate.
Oh.
Also, I was able to escape my computer. Oh, but my camera's
Oh.
upside down.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh, hold up.
We're
I'm
hanging
fixing
from
it.
the ceiling.
I'm fixing it. I'm fixing it.
You're just
We
pulling
did
a
it.
buddy. There you go.
Yeah.
Yay.
We're just hanging out.
We did it.
We did it.
All right.
You're
Now we
still
have
outnumbered.
now we have 2 flesh tubers and 4 VTubers.
Yes.
All right.
Shame.
Look at the fleshies, point at them and laugh.
You eventually make your way to the bar. We'll say Ashma's first, and you are. You look down to this this rather stout woman, and she looks up to you. Hi, welcome. I'm Gertrude, and this is the Stonefruit Tavern. And I assume you're here from Devcast. Signed up for. Wait a minute. Weren't you here about a week ago?
Hi, Gertrude. Yeah, you remember me? I'm Ashram Var. I hold up my hand for a handshake.
She just kind of like with a perplexed expression raises and receives your handshake. Are you here signing up for the wet work, or are you staying with Emmerich still?
Well, I will probably still stay with him for a minute. But I'm signing up for wet work. We originally left town for some business, and then found out about some money, and figured I would go ahead and take the job.
Well, I mean, if you're capable of fighting 100 gold, does definitely persuade people. I completely understand. But yes, I can definitely write your name down here for the wet work. It was Ashram Var.
Ashram Var. Yeah.
All right, and you see her quickly jot that down with her quill.
And you said I turn and look at I guess CC, and you said you were gonna get Pin in. You're good.
Yes.
Okay.
I was like, Cecil's like, don't worry, I'll get the other 2.
And I'll go, I guess, hang out over this side with Pin.
All right, just to confirm, Ashram, you don't need an in room. You're staying with Emmerich.
No, I'm gonna speak with Emmerich. Yeah, I think I'm gonna stay with them and see if my friends can't as well.
Oh, I see. Alright, I suggest you get in touch with Emmerich as soon as you can, because there's a lot of people coming in, and if I don't have to
Yeah.
try to find people who can bunk together well, then that would be a blessing off of my shoulders. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think actually I'm gonna run and do that now, and I'm gonna run over back to CC and just remind them that I had talked to someone about potentially getting a place to stay for the night for the 3 of us, and Stein.
That is true. You did say that. Was that confirmed?
I have to go talk to them now, so no.
Okay. I was like, I just would rather not end up sleeping in the streets.
Well-
Oh, darling, I
How-
wouldn't let you sleep in the streets. You're fine. I just need to know because I've only got so many rooms and there's so many people coming into the sound of 100 gold pieces a head. All right.
How far away would Emmerich be from me right now?
Emmerich is probably a 15 to 20 minute walk away.
Okay. So just this is a piece of information about me. I'm really bad with both distance and time.
So am I. Yeah.
So would you say that's within 120 feet?
For the purposes of
Message.
You've got a sending stone that Emmerich gave you.
I've already used it for the day. Remember,
Oh,
I told
have
him we might be coming back.
'cause we
Oh, I
did that
thought
at
you
the
did that
beginning.
last
And
night.
I thought I did it. I mean, we could say that I did it last night.
I'm just gonna say you did it last night. I'm gonna be honest.
All right, well, give me half a second while I can craft 25 words. 1 minute.
And just like looks over at Stein and is just like, who is Emmerich? And I think Stein kind of like looks down at them and shrugs with their one arm.
Yeah, Stein just kind of like gives a little bit of a shrug and a little bit of a unknowing beeps.
What were you saying,
man.
Cece?
Vamp for
No,
me,
this
please.
is-
Hold on.
Oh, no, you're fine. I was just gonna say CC's just gonna look over Pin if he hears that. It's just like, it's someone Ashram knows. That's all I remember. And then like, if we have a little bit of time, basically I'm gonna like I get CC and Pin and Stein signed in. Also, I don't know if it's like Pin and Stein are Stein like plus together basically to be like they're basically it's like one's never without the other. You can't sign them in an individual.
They're one entity.
Yeah.
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 So as you approach and you start signing yourself in for the wet work, and you gesture over to Pin and Stein, you see Gertrude kind of raise a brow. Well, I mean, I guess some Warforged, yeah, kind of their own being now, aren't they? Are they both under your purview, though?
Asking me if I'm confused. Can you explain that? Because the big one is the little ones.
Oh! Oh, I
was like-
see. Then are you the little one's legal guardian?
I just look over to Pin real quick. I was just like, they are their own legal guardian. That important?
I mean, I guess not. I just wanted to make sure. And you see her starting to write with the C. Is your name CC or SEE?
It will just be two C's together. If you need me to put my full name, I can put. Or would you like me to give?
Your full name would be fantastic.
It's Koinok Carvin.
Oh.
It's why I would say I'd rather go by just the two C's.
No, it's okay, darling. You spell that out for me slow, like, okay?
So it's C.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
I just start
yeah.
going every letter, and then there's like every once in a while it's like, is that N as in like no or M? And I'm just like, sorry.
But eventually everyone is signed in. Astrum, have you constructed your 25 words?
I have constructed it. Yes. Okay. So I pop out the stone and say, "Hi, Emmerich. I have 3 people, including myself, who will need rooms for the night. One of them is very large. We are registering for work."
You start to hear Emmerich's voice back echoing through your mind. And as you hear the response, you suddenly start hearing him in stereo. You start hearing 2 of him. And you see him eventually, you look over and you see him walking into the tavern, sort of holding the stone towards his mouth. Yeah, if they don't mind this, the state of the rooms, I'm sure I can house a few more. Oh, hey Ash.
I do that thing, you know, when you're talking on the phone with someone and they come in the room, where I'm like, "Hey!" and I point at him and go, "Hey, hey, hey!"
Yeah, just kind of like this cacophony of hey.
Yeah, and I'll go ahead. I'm sorry.
But for those who have not seen Emmerich before, standing is sort of a tall and a little bit more of a athletically built gentleman with short brown hair and a beard. Probably just below his chin, so a little bit of a short beard. He's got green eyes and a button-up shirt with the sleeves sort of rolled up halfway, and rather thick canvas pants, almost like pants to be working in. He definitely looks more like a laborer than maybe a wizard.
I'll say, "Hey, so this is some new friends that I met on the road in DevCast. This," and I point out, "this is CC." And then
Pleasure
I
to
point
meet
to
ya.
Pin. This one is Pin, and their big companion there is Stein. And they're gonna stay with us tonight while we do some work, if that's all right.
Well, I don't know. I don't know how much Ash has told you about the estate, but it's in a bit of disarray. I bought it sight unseen, kind of a little advantageous, a little bit of a fixer-upper, you know, is how it was advertised. Very cheap for what it is, but as such, it does have a smell. Sometimes the ceiling leaks. Let me know if it does, because I need to find those spots to fix the roof. But you know what? It beats paying for a room, a warm room, and honestly, are you sure you don't want to pay for a room?
No. I mean, well, that's up to them. If they want to, they can. But I don't mind the company, Emmerich.
That's good to hear, because I also don't mind the extra hands. Eh?
Of course. I'm always happy to cast an unseen servant for you and let them do the work.
Oh, Ash. All right. Well, I'll take it. I'll take it. Speaking of which, and you see him kind of eyeball Stein for a moment. What's the carrying capacity on that one?
I look over at Pin.
Like Pin kind of just like when like they see you guys like staring, they just like a
Heavy.
slow creaky head turn to look directly at you two with their little piercing eyes. And let me think, because I don't know if he has a weight limit. I guess it would go off his strength, right?
Just
Yeah, it's usually
heavy.
something involving their strength.
Yeah, I'm not looking for
Big.
like an exact number. If Pin would give an exact number, totally do that. But like, I'm not looking for an exact number.
They would,
No,
but I'm
he
not
has
smart
to be
enough
able-
to come up with one.
Note he has to be able to hold it with one arm, so it's got to be able to balance that too.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wow.
General
if you all
rule.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Continue.
Well, if you all want to find a place to put all your personal belongings before diving into the mines, I actually came down because I'm picking up a shipment of wood. So, if I can get some help carrying that up, I would be delighted.
Sure. I'm sure I can find a way to help you do that. And specifically does not say that he will help carry the wood.
Well,
Unspoken agreement.
Let me look and see what Unseen Servant's current stats for carrying are. They can carry 30 pounds. 30 pounds is a lot of wood.
no, it's not.
Oh, no.
It's like an armful, maybe?
Maybe.
Okay. Okay.
Imagine doing manual labor.
So, I think Ashram's doing the math in his head and is like, okay, like the last time when he got a little guilty, you know, he didn't want to put Emmerich out. So he's like, all right, I'll help. I will help carry the wood.
So I'll give you one beam, right, Ash?
I can carry a little more than that. At least 2 beams.
All right. Well, feel free to follow me, folks. I can definitely take you out to where the pallet has been delivered. Probably actually close to where you all came from anyway for a moment ago. But if you're all signed up, we can at least get your stuff up to the estate, and then you can all get started with the wet work. I imagine they want to get you guys on that pretty soon.
Right. Yeah, I'll follow Emmerich.
All right. I'm gonna pop over to Damien, who wanted to catch up with Nemphra. As you approach the of the church, you still see the bodies that were left outside overnight. Unfortunately, not processed at this point, but basically covered for modesty at this moment. You imagine with the smaller. Hold on, this music ain't jiving.
Nope.
But you imagine with the smaller dwelling that this church does occupy, they're probably have their hands full at the moment. However, you know that the flock was kept out back near the graveyard. Rather grim, but pretty much the only place that your flock could have been kept.
Of course. Yeah, I suppose he goes out back to where the flock is to make sure that they're okay, and probably because he figures he would probably find Nemphra there.
Yep. You go around out back, and you do see the flock there, and you do see Nemphra now in her full garb, with her with the head adornments that denote her rank and such. And you see her tending to some of the bodies, and you see her with a small bag and a small golden wand as she's currently going around and mending any cracks in the bones, filling it with some gold just to help seal them.
Oh. As he just kind of walks up, approach the nymph casually.
She looks over her shoulder. Oh, well, they're just about ready to go here. It seems the rain did a little bit to them last night. It's kind of unfortunate to not really have their catacombs to keep them safe at night. But, even though our window got vandalized, at least they didn't.
Yes, that is fortunate. Well, again, we can manage, but I don't know what would happen if these poor folks would have been used and abused in our negligence. But,
Yes.
well, they don't have a proper place with a roof over their head to stay. At least it seems this area, folks aren't too keen to go getting up into any risky business.
Yeah, I'm wondering if I should ask, maybe the church, maybe the head cleric, if they would have any inkling as to what happened or whom attacked, whom threw the rock through our window, I guess.
Uh-huh. I pondered a similar question, but I feel that it may be best to look the other way. I can understand how those who are not familiar with the culture of Vermod might see it as odd or maybe even threatening. So it's important to just show them the best face possible that we can put out for them.
I guess I
Any
can
kind of-
see that point.
He gently pats Nemphra on the shoulder without disturbing her work. And he says, I'll go about and I'll see if I can stitch up together anything that might have gotten torn with our escapades the other day. So I'll leave you to your work here for now, and I'll see what I can do. And he plucks from his bag the two rods with the low stones, and goes amongst the flock, mending tears in clothing, and generally trying to fix up things as much as he can, so that way they're prim and proper. Going through and also pulling things like twigs or leaves that might have gotten caught in their hair, straightening them out. He also pulls out a small brush to kind of smooth out their hair and such.
There's definitely a number of tears and tatters in some of the clothing that happened as they were clawing their way through the cave-in yesterday. But you're able to seek them out and you're able to repair it, as you are very familiar with this flock and you know how they should look at their best. And you also go through and you take the moments to brush their hair and just to situate them for the day.
Yeah, and then he motherfucking does that. And he reconvenes with Nympha and he says, so what exactly is what's on the docket for today?
Well, I imagine there's probably going to be a few groups. With what happened yesterday, to my understanding, they only had one protector for a group of miners, and that's probably going to be changed for today. So I imagine that I might give over control of some of the flock to you, so that we can
You
also...
Sure?
Well, I mean, I hate to spread the flock a little thin, but this is part of your training at the end of the day.
I mean, I'm not to say that I'm not willing. I just didn't know if I was ready yet. That's a
You've
big
been
step.
training under me for how long?
Well, I mean, plus or minus the years that I kind of just fanboyed over the Death Shepherds in general and tailed behind you like a lost puppy until you finally took me on as an apprentice, but I mean, really, it's hard to say, but this is kind of a big thing, and it's a lot of
you're
responsibility,
spiraling. You're ready.
and
Besides, it will only be when we're in the mines.
he just kind of straightens himself, and then he just slaps his cheeks a little bit. He's like, "You're right. I can do this. It'll be fine."
I have complete faith in you.
Well, a good mix of faith and a little bit of luck, and things should work out hunky-dory. And he gives a small nod and a smile.
Now, I couldn't help but notice that you seemed to have been mingling with a few of the prospects that came in for wet work.
Oh yes, fascinating people, genuinely.
Do you think maybe it would be best to see if we can get you on a group with them? Would that make you feel a little more at ease?
I think that would probably help a little bit, yeah.
All right.
It's just, this is a big thing. I don't want to. If I could work with people I've at least shared a conversation with, I feel like that would help smooth the process over a little bit, because I mean, like, it is kind of my first time handling my portion of the flock, and it's, I don't want to cause any ruckus. It's a big deal, and he kind of just like does that actor calm yourself, just yeah, it should be good. I think that would probably work out just fine.
All right. And what of Jonas? Do you know if he's also going to be with doing wet work?
So when I was with them, Jonas seemed to be giving a brief overview of the events that transpired the other day. And it does seem that he will be joining in the work. I tried to touch base with him earlier, but again, he was busy. I met this other folks. I mean, of course, I was aware that Warforged did exist. It wasn't something exclusive to Vermont, but I mean, I saw one that was positively gargantuan, and its construction was, how to put it? It was almost, and he kind of like, he clutches his hands and tries to form a couple words, and they don't come out. I mean this in no form of derogatory sense, but it wasn't an elegant construction, but it was beautiful in its sheer power, I guess is a good way to put it. It was a frame built with a lot of heft, and it also wore a top hat.
A top
which
hat?
Was, a top hat, genuinely.
Huh.
It was very interesting. And then there was this this little fellow, Pin, and they were quite pleasant. Very, 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 very small though, which was quite the interesting dynamic, I must say. And he kind of like stops for a second. He says, "I was rambling again."
Nervous energy, I understand.
I mean, yeah, this is perhaps just a little bit much, considering this is in part what I have been spending a good portion of my life working towards, and we're finally doing that, and that is kind of huge. And this entire time, as he's kind of been rambling, with his offhand, he has been playing and kind of twisting and messing with the end of his long ponytail, just kind of messing with it nervously and absent-mindedly, like twirling it around his fingers and kind of fraying the end a bit. Which is, as Nympher would know, a behavior of his when he is kind
Noivus.
of noivus, yeah.
Noivus bean.
But he says, I'll go see if I can try and wrangle them together. There seemed to be the kobold individual which we spoke with the other day seemed to be handing out jobs, so perhaps I can work out something with that individual.
All right. I think I might take this as an opportunity too to maybe see if there's a more appropriate place for us to stay. I can't shake what happened this morning off of my mind, and the last thing I want is for the flock to get damaged unnecessarily like that.
I mean, they better avoid harming them unless they want a stern talking to. And he kind of wraps his crook on the floor.
Well, we'll see. I'll keep you updated, but I'll meet back at the mines probably about an hour or two, okay?
Yes, I believe that sounds like a good idea. We'll meet up then. And he just kind of like takes a step away, and then takes a step back, and then he kind of gets lost in which direction he wants to go real quick, and he says, "Right, collecting the folks. Okay, right." And he spins around in a circle and says, "No, I got this. This is okay." And he begins walking off the direction he last saw them, mumbling to himself and gesticulating kind of faintly.
All right. Jonas, after your talk with the Ravenous, what did you go off to do?
I believe I went off to find Douglas.
All right.
See if he's awake yet.
Upon returning to the Stonefruit Tavern, you do see the crowd that are currently signing up with Gertrude for wet work, but you push on, you go upstairs, and you find Douglas is basically just stepping out of the tavern room at this point, and you almost bump into him. Oh, sorry, Jonas. Oh, my head.
Long night, darling?
It seems to always be a long night when I'm sitting with them. Promise
Yeah,
me,
they'll,
if you see them, offer me anything, or try to buy me anything, that you'll either slap it out of my hand or slap me silly. I don't care. I feel parts of my body dying.
Of course. And, well, as far as I'm aware, I'm going to be sticking around for a little while longer than intended. There's a few things that have come up. So,
What's come up?
it's, we'll call it personal reasons.
No,
Not
maybe
something I'm
I can convince,
particularly inclined to talk about.
That's fair. Maybe I can convince you and Damien to tell me more about whatever else is in the ocean, along with whales.
I'd love to tell you.
I think I had a dream about
All
one
about
last
it.
night, but the way you guys described them, it was... How big are they again?
Well, Fiona sort of steps over to the... Is there a window?
Yeah.
On the upper floor? Well, you see the mine entrance over there?
Mm-hmm.
And do you see that tree over there?
Mm-hmm.
Whale.
I still refuse to believe that there's still something that big in the ocean.
Well, as far as I understand, the pressure created by the water keeps their body from from collapsing in on itself. So, I mean, they couldn't exist on land.
Well, I mean, I guess that might explain why I haven't seen one yet. Alright, but other than whale, what do whales eat? It's gotta be something big, right?
You ever seen, like, a shrimp? You know what? Don't answer that.
Okay.
They eat... You ever seen bugs? I'm sure you've seen bugs.
Yeah, I've seen bugs.
They eat lots and lots and lots of very tiny bugs.
But they don't go on land.
But there are... there are bugs that live in the water that aren't bugs, but it's...
Okay,
They're bugs, but
Jonas,
fish.
I'm too hungry and too hungover for bugs that aren't bugs.
Go get something to eat in you.
Yeah,
I will warn you, the tavern's a wee bit crowded at the moment. We've got the new swords in.
Are they loud?
Not currently.
Okay. And you see
Hey,
him
I
just...
can
Sorry, go ahead.
I can stick with you if you need.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that
I
that would
promise
make me
you.
feel better.
No more bugs that aren't quite bugs.
Please, not at least not until I've had some breakfast. I need something. I need something dense to soak up whatever is still in my body. And Douglas starts making his way back downstairs, or towards the tavern area.
I think I'd follow him down and sort of gesture over to. I can never remember her name.
Gertrude?
Gertrude. Okay, it is Gertrude. It's sort of hollow over to her and go. The little one here could use something to eat if you're not too busy right now.
You see her sort of one hand on her hip and the other one with Quill, writing in a book with the line of people in front of her. I might be a little tied up at the moment. Jonas, do you feel comfortable going out back and maybe just, what does he need? He needs bread. Darling, just go get him some rolls, please.
Of course. Jonas sort of hops the counter, sort of like in the same way that like a 13-year-old would like try and vault over a railing at school.
Radical.
You go ahead.
And he just sort of slinks around the back, grabs a loaf or two, and is sort of very emphasized, sort of comedic sneaking his way back out with like a loaf in each hand.
You scan the tavern floor once more, and you see Douglas has sort of sequestered himself in a darker corner of the tavern. He's got both elbows on the table, and he's just kind of cradling his head at the moment. As you make your way back out from the kitchen, and you stand there scanning for Douglas, Gertrude just kind of addresses you once more. Well, yeah, bread's a good start. He's gonna need water too.
I don't feed people. and he walks back in and behind the into the back to grab some water and maybe if there's some soup left.
Okay. There is a large pot broiling over a hearth. And you lean over, and it's pretty much a very similar vein of the stew that you guys have had for the past few nights. Just seems to be tonight's supper basically in the works. It is very hot, but you could probably nip a bowl for Douglas.
So he's sort of like balancing one loaf on his forearm, carrying a bowl in one. He's put the second loaf down at this point, and he's carrying sort of fairly large cup of water in the other hand.
Mm-hmm.
He comes over to the front counter, realizes I'm not going to be able to hop over this, and just sort of sighs before Misty stepping straight through it.
Okay.
He can't be bothered to go over to the whatever like little gate thing there is to it.
Yeah. All
And right now he's not in the mood to be spiteful with his magic.
You make
Just
quite
waste
the...
the second level spell slot to move like 15 inches or like 15 feet.
You best believe he did.
Oh, we're all dead. We're gonna die.
I love this.
No.
So yes, as you invoke Misty Step to make your way over to Douglas, I'll say that basically Ash and gang were on their way out, but that ripple effect of arcane just sort of ripples through the crowd and may have caught your attention. I'll leave that up to you as Jonas makes his way over to the table off in the corner.
Yeah, Ashram's head just kind of jerks over to it as that happens. Like, what was that?
There's sort of like as Jonas uses his Misty Step, sort of out of his coat starts like almost billowing a thin blue mist, rolling down his arms, sort of enveloping the bread as it goes.
The once piping hot stew, as you place it in front of Douglas, is a little bit more of a moderate temperature for the inside of mortal mouths.
Jonas will break a small chunk off the bread, and start nibbling on it as he sits down next to Douglas.
Okay. You see Douglas just sort of takes one hand that was cradling his head off his head and just grabs the bowl and slowly pulls it towards him. And then grabs the loaf of bread and slowly pours that towards him. And you see him basically tearing into the loaf of bread, sopping it up with a little bit of the stew, and just devouring it as quickly as possible.
Hot?
Sorry, I think your microphone might have cut out there a little bit.
Oh boy. Is that not hot?
No, it's actually... Could use some pepper? But, no, it's good.
Okay.
Ashram's gonna kind of put a finger up as he walks over really fast. Jonas, was it? Jonas?
Yes, that's me.
Hi, and he pulls out a notebook. I see that you were you casted some kind of step spell. I believe Misty Step is what it's called. Can you explain your sort of theory on how that works in your capacity?
Frankly, I don't even know the name of the spell.
Oh.
I
Damn innate casters.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not the one casting it.
Well, generally it's called Misty Step. It is conjuration magic, and Asher just starts going off on exactly the like arcane nature of how conjuration spells work in relation to like your place versus your actual place in the universe versus moving along that line. And we'll continue to do this until you stop him.
Emmerich will eventually make his way over. Ash, weren't we heading out?
Oh, yes. Sorry, I apologize. I just saw something a little bit interesting that I just needed to do a little quick research on. If you could sign here that we had this conversation about Misty Step,
No, Ash,
just so that
Ash, stop badgering the poor gent as he's trying to have breakfast. Can't you see what's going on here?
Okay.
I'm
Yeah. All right.
deeply sorry, friend. It seems Ashram never really left the academy mentality.
He just sort of looks at Jonas and then Jonas and looks at Emmerich and just like realizes what he's done and it's like, I'm very sorry. I didn't mean to badger. Honestly, I'm just a researcher at heart, I suppose.
It's okay.
I thought you were a wizard, not a druid. How could you badger?
All right, well,
Sir,
I cast disintegrate on Damien.
Get out of my cabin.
Oh, man.
No, I do apologize. Thank you for the conversation, and he'll head off with Emmerich.
all right.
Jonas is sort of gonna look down at his hand, still, like, there's still some, like, remnants of mist almost, like, stuck on him. Was that really necessary?
Douglas just kind of like looks up from his bowl for like a moment, just like one cheek stuffed entirely with bread, some stew off the corner of his mouth. What?
Jonas will, at this point, just get up and leave.
Oh, okay. Bye. Douglas goes back to his stew, I guess.
I'll see you around, darling. Right.
Sorry. Mio typed in out of character chat. Who the fuck is Douglas? I don't know. Maybe ass.
Right. This whole time I've been sitting here like, what the fuck?
I'm trying so hard to like stitch this group together, and y'all keep going off on your own fucking things. Just like,
Douglas
no,
is a
come
wee
back
baby
here.
that Jonas basically adopted in his session 0,
Nice.
Yes.
but is kind of not entirely neglectful, but doesn't really give Douglas as much attention as he'd maybe like to.
Listen, Ashram doesn't get Jonas's stats and does not know that Jonas hates their magic, and it just assumes that's what it is.
I mean, if Jonas is willing to just fuck around and Misty step through a counter because he's lazy, I reckon that Ashram would not come to that conclusion.
Yeah.
This guy seems pretty down to earth. You can do a little trick.
Down to earth.
All right,
Down to earth.
Damien.
Magic.
Ah,
As you approach the Stonefruit Tavern, you are met with Sisu, who was on his way out as Emmerich has basically gone back to go retrieve Ash and pull him away from questioning the poor random water genasi.
You.
and he points his crook at CC.
Jesus.
Yes.
Yes, you were one of the individuals getting ready to sign up for the wet work, right? Correct?
I mean, at this point in time, I've already signed up, but yes.
Oh, okay. I mean, yes, I suppose it, I should be considering the present tense. But anyways, and he kind of waves a hand in front of his face. Tell me, do you know where the others that were with your little... I will say a group, but you might not have been together. I'm not prone to making assumptions, but...
Mhm.
Uh,
Where
yes.
the rest of them are.
Yes, that.
Yeah. So we all got signed up, and the one who constantly is asking questions about magic, if he even believes
Ooh.
you so much as the really
no.
the fancy looking one. I believe
Well,
I believe he talked to you. His name was Ashram.
I mean, you look quite dapper.
No, but he looks fancy and is a little bit older,
Ah.
and also is like and looks human, which is very different than anybody else in our group. He.
I mean, I'm half human. I take offense to that. And he has a serious expression for it a second, and then he just no, that's that. It's completely fine. I understand what you're saying.
But he apparently has a friend here who has a place for us to stay, so we don't have to pay for a tavern room tonight. To give some room for the other people who came. So we have to help them carry some stuff over there.
Oh,
Coming back to the mines, I believe, is everything that we're gonna.
I suppose I could help with that. I'm actually curious if you would be willing. I'll try to get them on board with it as well. But if I could accompany you with a small portion of our flock. Of course, I'm one of the shepherds here who are tasked with assisting you wet workers in making sure that you are safe and secure in your job. And I am in need of a group to assist with, and the first individuals that came to mind was you and your merry little band.
I don't believe that should be any issue at all. Just be prepared. The one I was telling the older gentleman Ashram.
The dandy.
He will constantly ask you questions.
There's
be
nothing wrong with
prepared.
being inquisitive.
No, this is a little bit passing. You'll understand. Don't worry. But yeah, if you just want to follow me this way, I believe there's a state, and then we'll get ready. And then afterwards, I do want to talk to you because you stated your shepherds.
Yes.
I would love to talk to you more about that.
Oh, of course. It is a very interesting profession.
Mm-hmm. And then I slowly just guide Damien over to where I'm assuming Stein is already kind of struggling to pick up wood.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, go ahead.
I was just gonna say my actions have consequences. Oh no.
Wait, hold on. I think I could help Stein with this.
Ooh.
Not with my own strength. However, can I? Never mind. No, I can't. Wait,
Excuse me, pardon me.
perhaps?
Maybe?
Does a slab of wood weigh 1 to 5 pounds?
Yes. Question
Aha!
mark?
Wait.
It weighs a weight.
It definitely does weigh a weight. Yes.
He. Then I can use catapult.
Oh God!
Oh
No,
my
no, no, no,
God.
no.
Man, we're starting off spicy. What's the general direction that this estate is? Okay, so it's gonna go that way.
Cool.
This was calculated, but fuck, am I bad at math?
Just write on that plank before you launch it. To whom it may concern.
As it goes through Emmerich's already cracked windows.
They probably wouldn't aim it at his windows. They'd aim it like at the lawn or something. It goes 90 feet, so
Oh my God.
you know, like if it could hit a tree or like
90.
Or a child as it just zooms down.
that would be a little funny. I mean, that would be hilarious. But
See, I paid to see that.
Nothing wrong with a little grievous bodily harm.
to a child,
Fuck them
yeah,
kids.
yeah, I do think it'll probably do that.
And is going
Just,
to
like,
do
catapult.
everything they can to reenact the highway scene from that one movie whose name I can't think of, Final Destination.
So,
Oh, God.
so
I know what
is,
you're talking about.
is Pin actively going to attempt to catapult?
What is the distance? I know you guys said that you're bad with like, you know, amounts of feet and everything,
Oi.
and so am I, but like, is it at least 90 feet?
It's probably going to be more than 90 feet, I'll be honest.
Oh, okay, well then we don't even have to worry about it,
There
because
we
it's not gonna
go.
like, hit anything.
Look at
Spooky
that.
boy!
That's a creature right there.
I showed you my
But-
lizard, please respond.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, no, we will not have any projectile violence right now.
Unfortunately, no, just because it's
unfortunately.
probably not a good idea. It would be
Slowly
funny, but I don't
morphing
want to
into
kill a
auspicious
child.
warning.
I mean,
Carry
not
it
yet.
like nerds.
They definitely think about it, but like, you know, just like, seeing signs struggling, it crosses their mind, but they end up not doing it. They kind of just like go try to help him carry the wood as best as they can.
Okay.
It's like pushing it up a little bit on the other side.
Yeah, you act as sort of a balancing force. As Stein's doing, like, carrying most of the weight, you do end up, you know, trying to help support it on the back end as he picks up a few beams there. Cece and Damien join, along with Ash and Emmerich. Jonas also abruptly left Douglas. Where is Jonas going?
Jonas is standing completely blank-faced in the doorway, having no idea where he was intending to go, just that he wanted to go elsewhere.
It'd be like that.
Like, I've spent enough time around you. I just gotta dip it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, exposition. You see the group
Yay.
that you've seen a few familiar faces a few times, struggling with beams of decking boards.
You just hear Ashram go, "Urgh! Urgh!
Come on, Ash. It's one board. You got this.
It's so heavy. Big board."
Boy,
Damien very
Actually,
quickly
catapult.
tosses his crook aside. He says, "Here, let me help you with that."
boy,
And he tries to do his best to assist with his little noodle arms.
Why did you give the giant automaton all of the light boards?
They're all the same
Collectively, it would
size.
become heavier.
Meanwhile, as all this is happening, Cece
Oh, Cece does a something. Oh goodness. Oh goodness.
oh what happened?
CC does a death.
A
going
5
on?
perception and a 2 athletics.
Well, the perception was before, but the athletics was Damien trying to give his assistance with lifting whatever
Oh
Ashran
God,
was trying to lift.
the lanky boys are struggling.
Should I roll an athletics check as well to be like, can I just carry wood?
Yeah, sure. Roll me a.
Okay.
Catapult.
boy, I need you to move.
Should I roll athletics
That's a
as well?
14.
I don't want to, but I will.
You know what?
So
Yeah.
CC's successfully able to carry wood as if he doesn't.
Okay.
There's a little bit of strain in your lower back there, CC, but you're doing okay.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay. How? Okay.
Ooh.
All right.
After
Delilah's secretly using unseen servant without us
Ashram
knowing.
takes his shirt off. He's shirtless and he just. Oh yeah. Let's go.
I was gonna say, Emmerich basically gives you some pointers on how to distribute weight and how to more effectively carry the beams. And suddenly it's not as difficult as it used to be.
Oh, of course Ashram would be quick to pick up on theoretical fucking physics.
It's just physics.
It's just physics.
I think that's literally what happens. Ashram's just like, it's just physics. Watch this, and then just easily picks one up.
You just gotta remember the police system.
See,
Physics,
science
why
and
does it
magic can do anything. It's like I always say.
Meanwhile, Emmerich does pick up a number of the decking beams and just basically hoists them on his shoulder and just wraps his right arm around them and then uses his left arm to basically keep them steady. All right, it's up the hill and through the woods. Let's go.
Grandmother's house? Oh wait, no, to the estate. That's right.
Oh,
We
yes.
actually have to carry these through woods.
It's there's a path. Don't worry.
Yes, how far are we taking these, please?
Not terribly far, but you'll definitely be getting your steps
Hold
in.
on, the
Let's
boy
go.
demands an egg.
It'll be fine. Everything's good. I'm great. He says, and it's like his normally pale complexion is now like beet red with strain. Like one
you
of
need
his
to put
eyes
some
is
of those-
bulging.
Beams down, friend?
Oh no, it's totally fine. I can help. It's all good.
All right.
you just gotta adjust it to the left a little bit.
Yeah. No. You're crushing my fingers. Stop.
Okay.
Sorry. Dying.
But yeah, Damien just tries to do his best. Like, completely forgot to even mention what he was doing there. He's just, again, trying to be a helpful hand now.
Okay. Before I have the group completely fuck off, I'm going to give Jonas a chance to see if he wants to possibly see this and join, or... Apparently the lizard deserves an egg.
Jonas, give egg.
Gib.
Give egg.
Yes. Jonas must feed his pygmy whale.
Yeah. A giant miniature whale. It's just the size of a whale.
Does that just make it an average sized whale?
The size of a whale, yeah, it's the size of a whale.
An average miniature sized whale.
Can I redeem Inspire for the DM? I mean, I guess I would allow it, but my biggest worry...
We're gonna die.
My biggest worry is that people try to stack the odds against the players, which is something I'm not a huge fan of, right? I'm allowing chat participation, but I don't want you guys to try to dick over the players and ruin their experience, is what I'm basically trying to avoid.
Oh no,
Right.
sounds pretty funny.
Anyway, yes, Jonas would go down and help carry some wood because he has nothing better to do, and there is a rubbish water demon in his head.
There you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, Damien, as you're struggling with the beams and you're making it rather vocal that you are struggling with the beams, suddenly they start to feel a little lighter.
Huh?
You look behind
And-
yourself and you see a familiar pale blue face helping share the weight.
Eunice, thank you so much. I'll be honest, I don't think I would have had this handled for much longer if you hadn't jumped in here.
Well,
No,
many
this is
hands.
good. Make light work, indeed, my friend. I actually had something I would like to talk to you about, and the other folks here. And now that I can actually catch my breath, I can do so. As they're moving along, doing the hauling, he says, I was curious, are you going to be continuing your wet work with the mines?
I wasn't planning on it, but things have changed, so I Suppose yes. Yes, I will.
Fantastic. As you know, I am a shepherd tasked with helping out the wet workers here. And to cut a lot of nervous rambling short, I will be charged with assisting a group of you wet workers with a small portion of the flock, which will be underneath my care. Now, as I do enjoy helping folks when I can, I much rather prefer to work with people that I at least am acquaintances with. Hence, where you and the other fine folks here fall into said category of. Long story short, would it be fine with you all if we were to work as some kind of unit for the duration of your time in the wet work? Possibly?
I'm fine with it, although I fail to see why you'd need my help. You're clearly quite a capable shepherd, and I know the flock is certainly capable.
Well, yes, but
Yes,
it is.
if it would put you at ease, I am willing to help.
Yes. I
Help?
would
That's not the word.
prefer that.
I knew.
Yes. I would not go so far as to call myself incompetent, but I will admit that I am lacking a significant amount of personal experience. And it would just help me personally if I could work alongside people I would deem capable. Of which you fall under, of course. That sounds not great.
I don't think
I know you,
me.
and I would prefer to work with you than someone I don't know. And I have had the pleasure of meeting some of the other folks here, and he kind of like tries to let go of one hand to gesture to the other people, and then his side dips, and he quickly wraps his arm around it and lifts it back up. So yes, I've had some of the pleasure of meeting some of the individuals here, and he kind of points his head in their general direction. And I figure with a little bit of jolly cooperation, we could potentially make I don't know, our endeavors here a little bit more safe, secure, streamlined, professional.
I will say, like,
Entertaining, he says, glancing over at Asheram.
He's gone into like almost like a crab position to like properly move his legs to get under the board
Oh my
as
God.
he's sort of like walking.
Asheram's a decapod.
I cast Return to Crab.
Is it not
So-
proceed to crab?
We will all someday we will all return to crab. It's fine.
One day.
yeah, CC and Pin, you folks are also there, by the way, in case you wanted to interject or speak
Yeah.
up.
What do I know about the shepherds? Because I heard that part.
Roll
They
me
make good pie.
a wisdom.
Wisdom. Visudom. Damn. That's nothing. I know nothing.
Oh, wow.
You are way too focused on your stance at the moment, and you know
Right.
that if you give
deep
any
slots,
brain power to
yeah.
anything else, you will lose the power you have over these beams.
I am the master of my own beams, and I will continue to be so.
Please, holy shit, let's drop off these dudes before we keep talking.
I want to interject, especially because when Jonas was talking earlier, and he mentioned everything was at range. At that point we noticed, I can't remember if he brandished or showed that like he had his weapons. Did I notice those, or would I have noticed those?
Then-
I'll
Because
say, yeah, it's kind of hard to conceal like daggers,
a
with
crossbow.
Yeah.
So I was look over to Jonas. It's like, also, since we haven't had the chance to like officially say hello, we've met earlier though. Since you're going to be helping us, you seem to be more from the weapons you have. I'm assuming you prefer to be more away from things that are coming to cause bodily damage.
I
You're
mean,
not
aren't
an
we
up-
all?
There's a few people I know who are more of an up, but I just want to make sure kind of
I know
that.
a man like that.
Yeah. So I just wanted to make sure I wasn't too off par. I've done this a few other times, and it's always best to understand where everyone lies, because if everyone suddenly is in the back, or they think someone's supposed to be in the front that definitely shouldn't be in the front, not a great time.
I mean, daggers are quite suitable for personal engagements, but for the most part, I tend to hang back a little.
Understood.
Well, I mean, I think rather, whether you like it in the front or the back, it mostly just comes down to personal preference.
God damn it.
Here we go again.
Eyeball emoji.
Now wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Personal engagements, front or back?
You can't just
Wait.
ask people if they're a top or a bottom.
So as you guys are discussing this,
I don't know. I think that's a great icebreaker.
during your uphill incline towards the estate, the subtle tree cover on either side of you on this moderately worked path eventually gives way, and you see before you what used to be an exquisite estate. You see almost well, for our terms, Victorian-style home that's essentially just been left to decay. Withered and weathered and not maintained. You see there are some cracks and chips in the windows that are on the front-facing side. You can see the rotted wood beams in the deck from here. You can see there's a sag in the roof. Even behind the building, you can see what used to be probably a separate building on the property itself that is essentially just half gone. Stone walls crumbling, left to expose what little interior remains.
Yeah.
And Emmerich drops the beams on the ground before the deck, and he spins around to all of you. One last chance. This or the moderately priced tavern room.
I mean,
As long as there's a roof here, and as long as that I'm not going to be attacked by anything in the night, that's really all that matters.
Yeah, I think I've managed to find most of the mice, so you should be fine.
I can assure you of at least one of these things. So, thumbs up.
I mean, it should be fine. Seems like a bit of a fixer-upper, but it's no big issue.
Emmerich has been working very hard on this place, and I like it for it. It's got charm.
It's got a certain je ne sais quoi.
Yeah.
Is
Oh,
the place have
Elvish.
like stairs leading to like the door, or is it just like flat to the ground?
I will say, so I just changed the scene for you guys here. You guys are starting here. There are stairs that lead up to the deck. The house is sort of, or the front door is sort of elevated off the ground there. But there are stairs that lead up to the deck. But as you take a step onto the deck, you feel the boards kind of bow under you for a moment, and you see Emmerich almost taking calculated steps as he's leading you towards the estate. You see him pointing out certain boards, certain beams, just going, careful there, don't step on that. I need to get a cover on that one. That's just an actual gaping hole.
Hazard.
It's a work in progress. It's a fixer-upper. We're working on it. But that's actually what these beams are for. These are for the deck itself. That is way too loud.
Oh. It is the culmination of what will be a labor of love. And that is a wonderful thing.
I got it very, very cheap.
Ah.
I just sort of stage whisper, just don't annoy the vampires in the attic, and you'll be fine.
Vampires? What?
What?
Ash, you telling lies again?
What? No, of course not.
I mean, I've never personally met a vampire. I'd be intrigued to do so, though. I'm sure they're pleasant conversation.
It's mostly about blood, though, is the problem.
I don't know. I mean, I work with the dead, but it's not all I talk about.
That's fair, I suppose.
And inside, just taking uncertain steps on the deck in the background. Just they take
Worried.
one and then
Oh,
stop
no!
and look.
Worried
They take
Stein's
another one.
foot is just gonna go through the floor.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
can't like sweat, but he's like,
Yeah, no, I think I think that one might not want to step on the deck. I do have a door at the back of the estate that doesn't have the decking in front of it. Here, I'll guide you guys around there. Ash, can you lead them in front of the front door?
Yeah, of course. I'll go ahead and lead everyone inside.
Pin, do you follow with Stein?
yeah, Pin
Okay.
will fall. Yeah.
As you
Oh.
guys make your way around the side of the estate here, and eventually to the back, turning the corner and peering over the hedges there that are kind of the border to the garden, you see a very familiar fountain and a very familiar statue.
Hmm?
And yeah, Emmerich just walks through the hedge path there and around the statue. Yeah, I've got another door back here. But yeah, no deck, so your friend should be able to get up without, crumbling through rotting boards, unless he finds rotting boards in the house that I haven't been heavy enough to. You know what? You just walk around, big guy. I need to know where the soft spots are.
Question. Does the statue look like it's been repaired recently? Because Pin fucked it up.
No, the statue is still very much in disarray.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and does the window look like it was broken into? Like, is it still smashed?
Yep, yeah. And the garden still looks rather overturned.
Oh! What did you do? What have you done?
Truly reprehensible.
They take it in for a minute. They're not gonna give it away. They're not gonna give anything away yet. So they'll just play along with what the guy says. Their demeanor just grows noticeably a little bit more guarded. Like before, they were kind of just like, having a little bit of like a saunter and like a jolliness to their walk, like a little hop skip. And now it's just back to just stone cold, like straight face.
I think I'll meet Emmerich inside, and as I look out the door into the backyard, into the courtyard, I'll just kind of say, yeah, so we should probably talk a little bit about the stones and what happened in DevCast.
Yeah, did you find anything in DevCast?
So at some point, and I kind of guess just with the rest of them, I believe CC and Pin also ran into Gladys in DevCast, but by the time I'd gotten there, it looks like she had picked up and gotten her lab out of there. The whole place was completely empty. I didn't find anything, did I? Like any?
No, you didn't find anything.
Okay, yeah. So I don't quite know what she was doing with them. We didn't quite find them, and then, like I said, we kind of ran out of. I think I told you a little bit in the message, but we kind of ran out of leads and figured maybe make a little cash and see if we can expand our reach out a little bit and figure out where she is.
Well, if she's already picked up and moved, it's entirely possible it's going to be difficult for us to find her again. With magic, she can literally be anywhere now. But, Cece and Pin, was it? Did you encounter Gladys?
Cece kind of looks as like, who?
Apologies. It must have just been Pin then. I must have been wrong. I apologize.
He's the one who tore off Stein's arm. So we aren't exactly on the best terms.
Well, you know what they say.
Goodness.
Enemy of my enemy, right?
I mean, I suppose I'm sorry to hear about that.
They don't really pay any attention to like Damien. They kind of just turn over to what's his name, Emmerich.
So, what else do you know about Gladys?
Well, Ash and I were students at the academy, at the Institute of the Arcane in Kelpsa. We were in the same year, and sharing that year was one Gladys Nevermore. And like Ash, not like me, she was quite the prodigy with the arcane arts. And unfortunately, she didn't really have the same moral or ethical code as the rest of us did. She would do almost anything in order to further her pursuit of arcane knowledge.
Yeah, I don't believe she had any moral code at any point, to be honest.
No.
But what are you gonna do? The Institute really likes to prioritize magical ability
Well, at the end
over
of the
moral
day,
sometimes.
she was gifted. At the end of the day, they either needed to help her flourish that talent or to keep an eye on her. But at the end of the day, she passed the exam like all of us and was allowed to leave the academy.
Yep.
He kind of squints at this conversation. It has now piqued his interest a bit more.
I tried to say something to one of the headmasters. I tried to say something to the professors. No one would listen to me. No one would believe that she.
The only ones. Honestly, some of the professors I think did also speak up, but the headmasters, the magisters, they just ignored it.
How it goes sometimes.
But, that being said, I had a little bit of an arcane experiment going on in my garden. I was trying to replicate the botanical arts infused with arcane. And, unfortunately, it seems I was ransacked a little. My construct, my statue there, which was supposed to defend the garden, unfortunately got attacked and broken, and the catalyst crystals I had buried in the soil were also taken.
My only question is how they knew that the crystals was even there.
Well, I mean, if they were able to detect magic, it might have, drawn them to them. But catalyst crystals are expensive and very much sought out. And it's my belief that Gladys may have needed more. I heard that she was ordering in large quantities in Devcast.
Right. Would they be on some kind of, like, shipping manifest or list she could have gotten her hands on?
It depends if she was doing it above board or not.
Mm-hmm. I'm just trying to figure out how she knew to come after you specifically.
Sorry, what was that?
Oh, just Jonas is not particularly following this conversation.
Me and you both, Jonas. I was like, I don't even know who Gladys is. Apparently, I was supposed to.
Roll me a wisdom save.
Oh yeah, let's see if I get that flashback, baby.
Let's go.
Woo!
You said a wisdom save.
Yes.
16.
All I know is it's
16.
got something to do with the fucking academy.
As you hear the name over and over and over again, you suddenly get a flash of pink haze across your vision, and you hear the clicking of heels against tiled floor, and you see a glimpse of almost piercing pink eyes for a moment.
I just remember like the pink eyes and like the high heels of like femme fatale.
Yeah, pretty much.
Cool. I just look as that happens. I'm just like, is this Gladys woman have pink eyes?
Well, not when she was younger, but it's very easy to use prestidigitation in order to keep that.
Got it. Okay, that's the only thing I remember. Apparently, I met her before. I don't really remember it. It's a little bit hazy.
Hazy?
It's things kind of come and go. Is the best way I can put it. Like I don't.
Is there a way I can tell if he's been had magic cast on him?
I would
Something
say if Ashram wanted to roll an Arcana with what's being mentioned, or has the ability to detect thoughts, then maybe.
No detect thoughts, but I can roll an Arcana.
Yeah.
Actually, hang on.
If I notice our Ashram's trying to help me with this to try to apparently like, I'll be like, sure, but and I'm just like, you got this, buddy, and give him bar inspiration.
Aww.
So add it.
Okay.
So if you want, you can add a D6 or within the next 10 minutes.
D6, powerful. All right. I love a D6. All right, so that's gonna be not a great roll. I think I'll go ahead and use that D6 now. Like a D6, like a D6. Oh, great. All right, at 13?
Oh.
Can't win.
Well,
Can't win.
thankfully, the DC is kind of on the lower end for Ashram with his background.
Mm.
The way CC seems to be describing this could be the result of a modify memory spell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I relay as much as this sounds familiar. This could be some kind of memory modification or obfuscation spell. You could have had your memory changed to forget, but those spells aren't 100%, and sometimes memories can leak through or be returned, but
Yeah,
I'm not sure what it would do at this point.
How much of the memory she would have tried to get you to forget. There is sort of a comfortable limit, as there is with all magic, but if you try to push beyond that limit, it could leave some holes, or essentially spreading the magic influence a little thin.
Okay. I have no idea how long. I mean, is this basically asking like, do you recall like how much span of time did
Yeah.
you? Okay. CC's like, I mean, if we're talking about what I think, I was like, I just remember one day I was in the industrial district, and then I was trying to look for one of Pin and my friends, actually, Marcus, and then next thing I know, it's evening, and I am walking, and that's when I suddenly saw Pin, and I mean that's kind of where that goes. That's kind of about it.
Yeah.
And every once in a while I've gotten kind of like a little bit of a flash of something, but I don't really recall anything specific.
To jump from an afternoon to the evening is definitely far beyond the comfortable scope of capability of modify memory.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
That also would be something. I mean, she was powerful, yeah, but she might have used catalyst crystals to further that influence.
True.
Damien very gently raises his hand. What is a catalyst crystal? Or I can leave if this is like personal
No, it's
business.
not personal. It's not personal. In Kelpsa, they've cultivated a magic infused crystal to essentially be a replacement for material components or a means to amplify your arcane capabilities, to make you stronger, to allow you to cast at a higher capability, depending on how much you have. They're more common in Kelpsa, but I hear that they've started to make their way out of Kelpsa.
I'll pull the crystal that Emmerich gave me out like this. This is what they look like.
Ashram presents you with a small, almost small pillar-like, clearish crystal with pink hues.
As soon as you pull it out, Damien, who had been keeping his distance for the most part, immediately like hyper moves over faster than you thought he could. He gets very close and he holds his chin and kind of leans down to inspect and he says, absolutely fascinating. And you say that this can replace material components alongside enhancing them?
Yes.
Spells? I mean...
The size of the crystal does matter. So, for example, if you are trying to revivify or resurrect somebody, you are going to need quite the bulky crystal. But something like this is what I was using to actually imbue the plants outside with some arcane energy. But also it could possibly allow you to maybe embolden a spell, maybe a level or two above its capability.
My goodness.
Yeah, it's quite fascinating. It actually allows you to supersede the Heiston limit, which is, and then again, Ashram's just going to go off on a tangent.
Surprisingly enough, Damien keeps up and he nods all the way through without seeming confused.
Oh, hard eyes, big hard eyes. Yeah, and that's why certain spell components require gold piece value, because inherent value of an item makes that object more powerful. So
I see. But
by-
I wonder how they substituted that, considering you would have to impose worth upon the crystals themselves in order to replicate that kind of effect.
Well, I assume it has something to do with the inherent arcane nature of the insides of the crystals and how they radiate that aura outward, because you don't consume the crystals. If I'm remembering correctly, you don't consume the crystals when the magic is cast. So it has to generate its own field of some kind. And yeah, this will just
Yes,
continue
though you
on.
don't consume the crystals like eating them, you do, however, the crystal does shatter once it is
Okay, it burns out.
Yeah, once its
Right.
usefulness has been taken.
Right. So it must have some inherent arcane energy on the inside of it that you can then draw from. It must be some sort of ancient. I would have to guess some kind of ancient primal power, but I'm not 100% certain. I'm not a researcher of crystals, unfortunately.
Maybe in essence, it has served as a form to crystallize potential energy. The potential to serve as a component. I mean, that is essentially what you're using a material component for. You're taking its potential energy, or what it represents, and converting that into energy for a spell. So perhaps these crystals serve as a kind of universal potential.
That's true, entirely possible. Where have you studied before? This is a very interesting conversation.
Mostly just hobby reading.
I see.
As all,
Don't
Oh,
mean to
shit.
cut anyone off or anything, but like in the midst of that conversation, like probably about a minute or so in, Pin would have just left. Pin probably would have just started like
That
walking
con-
in and walking
I was also
around.
just gonna say, oh shit, the two wizards are talking.
yeah, I was gonna say, I
Yeah.
mean to interrupt. One, I feel like we have to go get ready for wet work. Also, random thing. Does this mean
Yes.
technically I could get my memories back? Because I would like to know what apparently happened to that span of time. Because apparently you're saying I just don't have those, and I would like to have them back.
Would you?
Well,
Theoretically, yes.
theoretically,
I mean-
we could restore your memories. The problem with that is that I don't have the kind of arcane power that I once had, and don't have that ability currently.
That's
I'm
what you
still
get
working
for
on it.
running ahead without thinking much through.
You know the circumstances of my departure. There wasn't a lot I could do.
Well, if you do genuinely want those memories back, I believe the clerics down in Einsborough might be able to help you with that.
Okay, and
Yes.
so will the clerics be at the tavern after wet work?
Probably not. They tend to keep in their church.
Okay.
Yes, I've actually spoken with some of them myself. I could potentially introduce you if you'd like.
That would be perfect, actually.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, I was just going to say, but there is a point to be made. We all do have jobs and places to be, which, again, this is all incredibly fascinating. But I am here to help people, and while I'm happy to help you, there are the people as a whole that I must assist. So, if we could get that stone rolling.
Just a moment there. Pin, where do you... I'll say you guys are all kind of in here at the moment, because no one's really moved their tokens.
I tried to
I
move
can't.
it and
Yeah,
I
I can't.
can't.
We can't.
Oh, you can't? Eh?
Nope.
Yeah, I was just
Yeah,
like,
I've been
I
trying
guess
to
we're
move up.
stuck.
I just assumed that this was more so for like a visual thing, and so we were supposed to be moving our stuff.
I mean, I could try to see. The next thing I could do is just draw my own character and see if I can move it after that.
Yeah, that's a
Then
good
there'd
idea.
be, but then there'd be 2 CCs.
Yeah,
so
I'm
you'd have to,
giving
like-
I'm giving you guys
and then one would
permissions.
have to murder the other.
Oh, we can
Ha ha!
There we go.
Okay.
Huzzah!
All right. Well, this room over here
Which
looks
one?
like it's some sort of this one. Ow!
Um,
Holy shit! She fucking schmooved. I see.
You go into there, and that is sort of a bar closet. There's a cabinet in there that just has a few bottles of
Oh.
wine and rum and whiskey and whatnot.
Boring. Move. What about this big one?
That there now there is the doors there do have windows on them that you can kind of peer in. That there does appear to be a study of sorts. And in the
Aha.
center of the room, it's kind of obscured by the light that I put there, but in the center of the room does appear to be a large pinkish crystal formation.
Locked.
Yes, it is locked. You go to turn the handle there, and you are met with it, well, being locked.
Well, I do have thieves' tools. Wait, do I? Never mind. You didn't just know that yet. Anyways,
Yes, as Damien starts speaking up that you all do have obligations, Emmerich kind of claps his hands together. That is right. I will gladly talk all of your ears off tonight over maybe a warm meal.
Oh yes, meals are always good, preferably warm.
That would be perfect. Yeah, especially if
Yeah.
if you're offering.
Always down for a warm meal.
Yeah, I can definitely have something ready for you all. I beseech you all to stay safe in the mines, and I'll see about trying to make these rooms habitable for tonight.
No, of course.
All right, sounds like a plan.
Alrighty.
Yes.
I'm gonna get in. I'm gonna get in this fucking room. I won't be contained.
Do you have thieves' tools? Or a lockpick?
I do. I do have thieves'
That,
tools.
yeah, I was gonna say.
Too
Are you
powerful.
proficient in them?
Well, it's on the tools part of my little character sheet, so I think so.
Okay.
Question mark?
Roll me dexterity plus your proficiency.
Oh, that's not a lot, but
Believe-
wait, don't I have inspiration? A D10?
But
You can't
give it to
give
yourself.
it to yourself.
Oh, I can't use it. Okay, damn it.
Hold up, though. I got you.
What did I get? Hey, that's pretty
16.
good.
And is that plus your proficiency?
That is plus my proficiency, I believe. It's the little +1.
Oh. Alright. You do... Oh, wait. Frank redeemed a granted advantage for Pin. Roll again.
My beloved.
The bardic inspiration runs rampant.
The bardic inspiration
Imagine I
from
roll worse.
afar.
Okay, well I
Yeah.
did, but it's the thought that counts.
It's the thought that counts.
I got y'all.
But yeah,
Bard
you
will do bard.
do manage with your thieves' tools to unlock the study door.
Just imagine like the tip of their index finger kind of just like flips up and just a little lockpick comes
yeah.
out.
Love it.
Inspector Gadget, let's go.
Love it.
Oh,
Um,
gadget.
But you do work with the door, and thankfully, like the rest of the house, this lock is in a poor state. So you do manage to open the door, but as that audio cue just gave, it does let out the longest groan and creak. And you try to like slow down the door opening, which somehow makes it worse.
It was time.
I
was
think like
Surprisingly,
Jonas
desperate.
is kind of here for a little sneaking around, so he's probably going to try and mask the noise by
Ooh.
futzing around a bit.
How does Jonas
Okay.
mask the noise?
I am going to sort of noticing Pin like start opening the door and hear the start of it. Jonas is going to like mock fall over
Okay.
and like
Hey.
like catch himself, but like the creaking of the door is like, oh, sorry, that was me.
can
Nothing.
you roll me a performance check at
I can certainly
disadvantage
try.
because that is a very loud, creaky door.
Oh yeah, Jonas
Nothing
is. No,
says-
I never said Jonas was smart.
Nothing says distraction like a well-timed pratfall.
Ooh, now this, Mia, would be an opportunity in order to give that D10 of inspiration if you wanted to. Because right now Jonas
And I
is
will.
staring at an 11.
We getting. You're like, I'm getting in that study.
I refuse to take no for an answer.
16?
I will succeed.
Alright, so Jonas, you kind of like see through the corner of your eye what Pin is trying to do, and as the door starts to creak, you immediately stage fall backwards, letting out a loud yelp as you do so. And Emmerich immediately looks to you. Oh no, did you fall through the floor? And you see him kind of rush over and try to inspect the floor around you.
No,
think-
it's just a particularly rickety floorboard. I think this one, but it's in one piece. And he's gonna sort of shift his weight over towards the staircase a little.
Okay. He Emmerich goes to like give you a hand up, and once you are bipedal again, you see him with the heavier boots that he wears. You see him kind of stomp around on the floorboards, trying to see if there's like a fault or a weak floorboard. Can someone roll me a D2?
Oh.
Flip a coin, ladies and
you're-
gentlemen.
My hands are tied.
There it goes. A 2.
Alright. He manages
two.
to not send his foot through the floor, which is great.
Nice. The floor stays.
The floor is
Damn it.
stays. Alright, Pin, you managed to slip into the study.
I imagine I don't have a lot of time in here. Like, at this point, have I heard him be like, alright, we should get going? Or
Yeah,
is it
pretty
just like,
much, yeah.
okay. Would it be possible for me to kind of just, like, exit, rejoin the group, kind of like, as if I never left, really, but kind of, like, leave the door open, not lock it behind me so I can come back to it later?
Sure, you roll me a stealth. To try to be inconspicuous.
I simply never left. Okay, just kidding. Actually did.
As you make your way in and the door is open, and Jonas did a fantastic job trying to cover the sound of the door opening. Once the door is closed again, the latch on the door makes a rather noticeable thunk as the door is closed once more, and you see Emmerich, who was in the middle of stomping the floor around Jonas to make sure nothing would break, sort of looks over and his eyes level upon you.
They stare back. They don't really say anything. They just, like, lock eyes with him. Just like, yeah.
Put me out on something, bitch.
But now...
What now, bitch? You see him just kind of go over and test the door, notices that it's unlocked. He goes,
Mind your business.
could have swore I locked that. And you see him produce a small key out of his breast pocket.
We did it. We did the Pirates of the Caribbean thing, and we know where the key is kept.
After
Alright, time
getting in.
Yeah.
Stein is just gonna knock him out. As he turns a corner and Stein punches him in the neck.
Jesus.
All right.
I don't think that will knock him out. I think Stein will do much worse than knock him out.
Send him to the wall.
Yeah.
Send him to Jesus.
Surprise! It's a murder hobo campaign.
Ah!
But yeah. But yeah,
It's
as
okay. The
soon as he's
monsters
like,
are also murder hobos.
But yeah, as soon as Pin is just like, oh shit, the jig is up, they're just like running back to the group and just like they give Jonas like a knowing glance and just like nod.
That chilling sensation returns in the back of your mind, Jonas. I knew you were soft. Try
Yeah,
not
So
to-
anyway,
going
as you
to-
can see,
try
if
not
you
to
Give
let
us
this one
the
die.
crystal,
Slightly
you-
agitated sigh, but that's about it.
that's about it.
That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it Also, Oko, there is a proposition in the Discord.
I saw.
Okay,
Believe me, I saw.
good.
That being said, this is around the time I was aiming to end the session.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think now might be a good time to do a sign-off.
Sure.
I'd like to go to bed.
Yes, so now Hex can fucking sleep.
Please, holy shit.
But the next session will be February 4th, again starting at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And let's start with the top here. We have Damien, played by Simply Your Buddy, which you can find him on Twitter. He is a VTuber. He is a dad tuber. Then we have Pin, who's played by played by Mio or Mio Possum, which again you can find on Twitter. Fantastic artist and VTweeter. Then we have Ashram, played by Delilah or Big DD on Twitter. Then we have Cece, who is played by Frank or Fridays with Frank. You again can find on Twitter, and he also streams. And lastly, we have Jonas, played by Hex or Hex of Elzaro? Question mark.
Alzaro. It's not particularly important.
But yes, all fantastic people. What are you doing, buddy?
I
Buddy,
think.
did you get
Party.
into the spin cycle?
Yeah, don't mind me. I just had some Zaw, so I need to clean off some of the grease. You know, I just put that sucker on heavy duty and let it spin.
That's fair.
All right, but yes, thank you all again, and I can't wait to resume this with you all in 2 weeks' time.
Oh, I'm
But-
stoked. I'm ready.
Cannot wait.
I am
Can't wait
going
to
to...
waste more spell slots.
I'm gonna deafen, but I will stay in voice chat if anyone wanted to do some indie post game chatting. But yeah, I'm gonna do my sign off. BRB.
Sweet.
Okay. Bye.
All right, and then we go here, and we do this because I forgot to do it. But yes, thank you guys again so much for tuning in for episode 1 of Inkstained. For those who don't know, I do stream now 2 D&D campaigns, which you can find the VODs for on my YouTube. You simply just gotta search my name and you will get my channel there. So you'll get the... Ooh, that's loud. There we go. You will get the VODs for... I still don't have a social command because I'm a fucking numpty. But yeah, you'll get the VODs for not only Inkstained, this one will be going live on Wednesday, as it is episode 1, but you'll also get the VODs for my second D&D campaign, which is known as Emerlia Murders. Cool thing about these two games is that they are both in the same universe at the same time. So presently these guys are about a week or a week and a half behind Emerlia Murders because it took me a little bit longer to get this game started than I would have liked. But don't worry, we'll catch up soon. But yeah, feel free to go to my YouTube channel if you want to watch the VODs or if you want to catch up or keep up on the other game as well, so you can kind of get the vibe of what's going on in the universe that these guys are going to be catching up soon too. If you guys want to know when I'm going live next, or if you want to keep up with this game or my other game or anything like that, feel free to join our Discord. Whenever I do stream games that are more fun to more folks, I always go to my Discord first. So games like Apex Legends, League of Legends, Red Dead Redemption Online, Final Fantasy XIV Online, Pacify, The Forest, The Isle Devour, Among Us, Jackbox, Valheim, Raft, Minecraft, Dead by Daylight. So I play a lot of games. But also, if you want to get to know your fellow adventurers on the tavern floor, we are a welcoming and wholesome community. We are a safe space. So if that jives with you at all, I would recommend checking us out there. I also just want to thank some folks who made today a little extra special. We had, holy shit, we had Karinga come in with a raid. We had Balu, who gifted some subs. I'm recovering from a cold still. We had Buddy, who also gifted a shit ton of subs. Thank you guys again so much. And Karinga also gifted a sub. We had Sir Teddy Bear Jones, who came in with a raid. We had Waste of Rage, who also followed. And we had Gary Ducky, who joined the adventuring party. Thank you guys again so heckin' much. This has been fantastic support for episode 1 of Inkstained, and I look forward to sharing these fantastic players and characters with you all in 2 weeks' time. Again, February 4th, okay? But that being said, this next Sunday coming, which is January 28th, is going to be episode 31 of Emeraldia Murders. So feel free to, again, keep up on both campaigns there. Now, we have shelled out the Discord, and we have thanked folks for today. So now it's time for my favorite part of the day, where we get to bring this amazing community to somebody new. And let's see who's doing what. So excited to see where this adventure goes. It took me a little while to corral them and to, like, you know, get them to stick together, but I think we're getting there. We're starting to see those threads that kind of connected them all, and we're starting to see them, you know, we're starting to see them actually garner attention. But yeah, can't wait. Yay! But let's go say hi to Sumir. It's been a while since I've seen them stream, so let's go welcome them back. If you folks have access to my emotes, which a number of you should after all those gifted subs earlier, please, please, please copy that very first raid message. If not, fret not, copy this very second raid message here, and we can still show Sumir the love and support of the adventuring party. And until I get to see you all again on Monday, stay awesome, stay safe, and well, I guess this is bye-bye.